No. Hello, 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 hello. Greetings and salutations, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Timeless Gamer, where the games and gamers grow older, while our gaming experiences forever remain timeless. And this is the weekend podcast show brought to you by the amazing people of Pinoy Retro Gaming. We are now live in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And for all of our archive videos of our previous episodes, you can check them out by going to the YouTube channel of Timeless Gamer, PRG. And you can also listen to us. If you want to listen to us talk, that's fine while you're doing laundry or anything. Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index, Listen Notes, Pandora, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and oh my God, Deezer. Oh my God, I think we got everything. We got it all covered for you guys, so there's no excuse for you not to listen. God damn it. So, this is our Dragon Ball Z episode, and syempre, as you can see, and may nagbabalik pa tayo, and returning to the podcast scene, of course, our dear friend and our graphic artist, our gravure graphic artist.
I don't know. I think you actually have forgotten since I've been gone that long. I don't remember being the graphics artist. If I recall, I'm the residential hentai artist.
No. He's saying graphic artist in the sense that you write, do graphic art.
Yes.
Oh, so we're going PG now. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So basically, my old title is Expunge, and now I'm the new title. Okay, noted.
No. And Sir Banyaga Native representing New Jersey on the East Coast.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are. This is the Banyag Native here on Timeless Gamer, and we have got a special show for you today. But we'll keep that on, keep a lid on it until Joe blows it off completely. There you go.
So from the East, okay, let's go to the West. Shin, say hi naman dyan, guys.
Yeah, welcome. Hello, everyone. It's been a long while, and mega love shout out to everybody who's watching right now, Timeless Gamers. It is I, the residential graphics designer of PRG, 4am Mobile Unit 630 Shimochu, saying hi to everybody, and I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday or Saturday or Monday or whatever time it is for you guys out there.
All right, thank you for that, brother Shin. And of course, 1, 2, 3, go, Sir JDM, all the way to, I think nasa Leyte pa rin to.
Yes,
Sir JDM.
in Kami House Leyte. That's
Kami House Leyte.
Kami,
Love the Bulma background
I just
right
found
there.
it earlier.
that's the Laguna branch. That's not the Leyte one. That's Laguna branch. I can tell by the trees.
White
One
thick,
day, Marcos,
ha?
1, 2, 3, go. Good evening, guys.
So, langit nawa, voice actress Bulma. Hey, Larry.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
Voice
that's
actress of Bulma.
Mm.
And
She's
of
the
course,
best.
Sir Pao.
Hello, good evening from Philippines and good morning from the other side of planet Earth. It's me, Sir Pao, live from my classroom. Let's go. And by the way, Kong Hei Pachoy.
Kong
Kong Si Patsai. Yeah, Kong Si Patsai.
And of course, Miss Honoka, nasa Planet Namek yata. Nakikita ko si Piccolo. I can see Piccolo right there.
Yeah, you can see Piccolo there. So, what's up, guys? Good evening, everyone. Honoka right here. You're live here in podcast and Pinoy Retro Gaming size. So, I hope you guys enjoy the stream, enjoy the show.
All right. And so this is our, as you can see on our thumbnail, guys, this is our Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z episode, the evolution of. And it's been, 30, 40 years since its first conception by the great Akira Toriyama. Okay. And out of all of the manga and the anime, there are also games that has come out for the last 4 or 5 decades or so. And we figured that us alone, we may not be too nerdy enough to talk about the entirety of Dragon Ball Z. So we are gonna set some limitations. So for this episode, we're just gonna tackle the 16-bit era up until the PS2 era of Dragon Ball Z games. Every once in a while, we might even tackle some modern games. But so on this particular episode, we gathered 7 Dragon Balls to make a wish to Shenron.
I don't think they're gonna like the way you call them like that, but okay.
we collect the magic granting wish granting balls So to make a wish to Shenron, sige, let's wish to Shenron na anak na to so we can get this show on the road.
Paparapap.
You have collected the 7 Dragon Balls. Any wish within my power shall be granted, but only one. What is your desire?
Great
I think
To win,
Shenron.
yeah,
Great
to win the
Shenron.
lottery.
Yeah.
Win the lottery tonight. $450 million. You know.
My fiance on my side and her underwear.
Oh my god.
Kanyang wish na. So may we wish Sir Joshua, Sir Lee, Sir Jazz, and Sir Will from the G3 podcast crew to join us to talk about the Dragon Ball Z games. Oh, yo.
Hey, we're
And
my
there you
number.
go.
Oh.
Instant transmission. Instant transmission. Yeah, you guys see the instant transmission.
Yeah. So it's backwards. It's Uzaru down to regular monkey. What's up, guys? Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you. That was
Alright,
quite
thank
the
you
intro.
for
Thank you very much. Kinawisan ako dun, pare.
Prepared, handang-handa.
Good. Yan go.
I just made it just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Sir VJ, Sir Jazz, Sir Lee, and Sir Trix from the G3 podcast crew, our very good friends, to talk about Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Z games, guys. So let's give them a hand of give Timeless Gamer welcome. Yay! Thank you po sa mga first. So,
Thank you for
Glad
having
to be
us.
here. Glad to be here.
Sir BJ.
Yes. No, I'm just saying we're very happy to be here. Thank you for having us. We're going to be talking about a lot of great stuff with you guys. I've even prepared, pinahugasan ko pa tong aking Uzaru mug just for this occasion. So maraming
Osaro.
Thank you.
Nice.
Uzaru.
Alright.
Yeah,
Uzaru.
it's my Uzaru mug.
Watch out for the full moon. Sir Lee.
Hi guys, thank you for having us. It's such a pleasure to be here. Excited akong pag-usapan Dragon Ball Evolution kasi alam kong busit na busit si William Ganayo.
Here we go. Ito na.
There goes our first
I am here to flame bait and
Perfect.
mga kasar.
Yes.
Well, yung Vegeta hairline ko pare lumalabas. Sorry, Joshua.
Sinadya ko yan para sa'yo.
How about Sir Jazz?
Wow.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having us here and to have our faces exposed everywhere else. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Excited to see BJ rage about Dragon Ball Evolution. This is going to be a fun episode.
Are we really going to talk about the Dragon Ball Evolution?
No!
Never about you.
No.
It's nice to see more faces, see more gaming enthusiasts on a podcast format. So I'm actually kind of excited on what we're going to talk about, despite not going to talk about the NES games because I grew up. I started with the Dragon.
Oh no. We will.
We are going to talk about the
We will.
NES game.
Yes, we will.
Aside from that, I'm happy to be here, just talking about video games, and specifically the Dragon Ball games. And yes, we will eventually come to the Dragon Ball Evolution game. Unfortunately for everyone here.
That's perfect. All right. So for this special episode, guys, of Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Z games, we requested Sir Mamuchu to lead the charge for today's show. We'll give it now to Mamuchu. Take it away, brother.
Yeah. Well, aren't we gonna be talking about the news first before we jump
of course,
into
the
the
news.
topic?
The news. Oh my God, gaming news. Did you know, guys, that Sony has announced that they are officially retiring the PlayStation 4
Oh,
He's here.
Oh no!
I mean, what are they gonna
Oh,
replace it
no.
with?
Oh
look,
no!
look
And,
how
um,
surprised I am.
This PS4.
I don't know,
And they're
Joe. I
going
mean, that piece of news.
they're going to focus more on the PS5.
What PS5? I don't see any PS5s. I walk into Walmart, I walk into Target. There's
This
no such
mythical
thing.
console
Where?
you're talking
Oh my
about.
God,
What does it look like?
Okay,
I
there
heard
you
it
go.
was
It's
like
said
this.
so. It's just the controller that you see on
Yeah.
on the shelves. I
Where
don't
the
see
hell
any
is a
PS5.
Where's this shit?
Where?
There you go. That's it. That's exactly it. I mean, the situation might be a little bit different in the Philippines, where I've been told that the PS5 is readily available. But here in the
Oh.
United States, you walk into
I know.
Walmart, you walk into Target, you walk into Best Buy, you specifically have to order the PS5 for it to come in next week for you to be able to buy it. So,
Yeah.
in my case, here in the US,
Hope it
it
don't
doesn't
get
exist
stolen.
yet.
Yeah.
What was that, Trix?
Oh.
Just hope that after you pre-order your PS5, it don't get stolen on the way.
Oh, there's also that. You know,
And that's
walking
that's
out to
a very
the
common
walking
thing.
out to the parking lot, walking out to the parking lot, you have your gigantic box under your arm. You know, you hear the immortal words, "Stick 'em up." You know.
It is actually like if you go during Black Friday after Thanksgiving and you decide to yourself a PS5, that's like you not just painting a target behind your back, you're literally coloring yourself red with a sign that says "Here I am" with a PS5.
Yes,
Rob.
especially in Mamochu's territory in the
I
West
get it.
Coast. Yeah, that
I like,
you
I
know.
like the, as soon as you get your PS5, your reaction after getting stuck up, your reaction won't be, "Please don't hurt me." Your reaction will be, "For real?"
And
how
you'll see
about,
that
how
exact
about
same
the-
PS5 being scalped later on eBay for twice the
Yeah.
price for what you paid.
$1,200 for a PS5. Why? What's the games? Well,
Nothing.
you have a nice controller.
Remakes, you know.
No, not
Ports.
even, not
You
even,
can access. You can access the PSN network with this one.
not even remake. You got
I felt attacked.
I don't believe that.
I bought a PS5 for just one game.
What game was that?
What game is it?
Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's definitely a
Because-
good one to get. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I bought the PS5 with the bundle with the
Mhm.
collector's edition of the Horizon Forbidden West. I was a big
Oh.
fan of the franchise, so I had to buy it.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, that's
Yeah.
fair enough. No, that's fair enough. I mean, I bought my PS3 because of Metal Gear Solid, so I understand that feel, man.
By the way,
Yeah.
that's Charlie D's way of exposing his flex culture to the
Ah.
building.
BJ, the thing about timeless gamers that we have a certain.
If you don't use the PS5, then it's not real.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing about it, BJ, is that here in Timeless Gamer, we have a section. We normally have a section called Show and Tell, where yes, where
Yeah.
basically you show everybody what you've acquired, what you've been playing the whole week long. It's a way to kind of let everybody know what you've been doing as a gamer this past
Yeah.
week. And I'm not quite sure if we're gonna be doing that this week, but you know, like Joe says, you know, we'll play it all by ear.
So basically, if Charlie was a regular in Timeless Gamers, what's gonna happen is that nobody's gonna talk to him post-mortem of the show, right? Because he's showing a lot of stuff. Is that what it is?
You know,
It's like in a moment, we're not gonna talk to you right now. It's like
just
I'm
Alright.
waiting at the moment. Let me see it in the salt, and then I'll talk to you.
Alright, so let's go to the other side of the panel. What they think about the news of the PS4 retiring. Miss Honoka, what's your thoughts about PS4 retiring?
I'm so sad.
Are you? How sad are you?
I'm
That's
sad.
so robotic. I'm so sad.
Literally, I actually bought it for like 2 years now.
Will you
Nothing.
have a PS4? What's why to be sad?
Oh, check it out. The couple's arguing. Check it out, guys. The
wow.
lovers arguing.
No, but
How many
seriously, I'd like to buy
PS4
a
games have you
PS5.
played?
Most likely I played one of my favorite games, Love Live, God of War 3 Remastered,
Mhm.
Tekken, Fortnite, and Uncharted. Those are the games
Wow, that's a
I
lot more than I did. That's a lot more. That's a lot more games that she played than
I
I more than
also
I
got
did.
especially Love
Only
Live.
played three.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
All right. How about Sir Pao?
I just
What's
wish
your
I just wish I own one, but unfortunately I don't. So nah. And since it's already shutting down, then I guess I will not have my chance anymore to
No, no,
own
that's
one.
fine. I
And
mean,
I mean,
we are
do you have
happy
any?
to stop it. We are happy
Yeah,
to
do you have
stop
any
it. So,
games that you want to play? There's like a PS4 exclusive, and that's basically what we're asking. Is there any specific games that you wanted to play in PS4?
mm, I forgot I forgot the title of that one. I
And
just
clearly, this is not something that you look.
no, I just
I'm sorry, it's been a long while, right? It's been a long while. I'm just trying to, I'm just like, pulling your leg,
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, finally Final Fantasy 7 remake.
the remake.
That one.
The
I
remake.
played that.
Seven
I already played
remake.
that.
How about Sir JDM? What are your thoughts about PS4 retiring?
I believe if they're retiring the PS4, the games will like the prices of the games will shoot up because there will be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
limited stocks already. People will be buying games and the console itself.
Yeah.
It might affect the pricing, especially
No,
here
it-
in the Philippines. Right? And
How about
I
Sir
was
Jazz?
actually planning.
Oh, go.
I
continue,
was
JDM.
actually planning
yeah.
a PS4 before, but since they already like most of the exclusives have been ported to the PC, so I think I could live without having a PS4.
Yeah.
Maybe
One,
maybe
one.
in the future. Yeah,
Where?
Maybe in the future.
Oh my god.
All right.
yeah. I'm going
What's
to
Sir
buy.
Jazz? Let's go with Sir Jazz.
Oh,
What are your thoughts about the PS4 retiring, Sir Jazz?
I mean, actually, I don't mind. Just like the saying, right? Don't
doesn't
don't be
mind.
don't
PC
cry
Master
that it's
Race, boys.
over.
I don't mind.
Don't cry that it's
Here we
over.
go.
Smile that it happened. So pretty happy
Yeah.
that it's an end of the PS4 era. But I'm pretty much excited and curious because we've got the PlayStation exclusives coming their way to PC.
Yeah,
So
man.
probably because PS4 getting discontinued. What comes after is the support, the online, the updates, and all that stuff. So there might be PS4 exclusives that will come to PC soon.
Nice.
All right.
Looking at you, Ghost of Tsushima. I'm looking at you, Ghost of
Yeah,
Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, I'm waiting for that.
And I think they're starting to do that as well since last
Yeah.
month I saw already in Steam the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Oh, I hope that's true.
That's a good one.
Aside from the microtransactions, that game's pretty good. You know?
All right. Well,
Yeah.
since Sir Trix is already, how about Sir Trix? What can you say about the PS4 laying down to rest?
It's been a long time coming, even since the PS5 was announced. I'm actually surprised that it got more lifespan out of it since some of the games in the PS5 are also coming to the PS4, and not vice versa. Actually, no, that's not right at all. But still, it would be. It's kind of sad to say, but what can you do? And just put Bloodborne already in
Bloodborne.
PC. Come on, man.
You're one of those. You're one of
Bloodborne.
those.
I know.
It's
I
bound
know.
to be. It's
I know.
it's gonna be there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No. But here's the problem though. Japan Studio is gone, and Japan Studio helped make Bloodborne. And
That
Sony just
is
took
the
them
problem.
all. We will never get another Patapon game thanks to Sony.
Thanks to Sony.
But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Sony. How about Sir Lee? What can you tell us about the PlayStation 4 dying?
It's what? Kailan ba na-release? Was it what? 2012, 2013? I think 2013, right?
Yeah.
Around
Yeah,
that time.
around.
So
10 years, almost.
10 years. I think it's okay kasi let's be honest, PS5 is just a glorified PS4. There's not much changes. It's just 4K. I mean, just a little bit better graphics. It's just
Yeah,
basically
looks
the
tinier.
PS4. Just to be honest, just to be plain. I
PS4
have
Pro at best.
I played the PS5. There's not much difference unless I'm playing on a 4K monitor. Then there's a tiny bit difference. But I came from retro gaming. So graphics doesn't really matter to me. Like I don't notice the 60 FPS, 30 FPS or 4K. I don't care about it, but what I'm sad about is that most likely, especially in the Philippines, the prices for PS4 will be affected. Like Sir JDM said, definitely some of the games, like the gems, will definitely increase in price. But with the digital games now, I don't think it will increase that much. Unlike the PS2 games. I mean, the PS3 games are still not that expensive, to be honest.
Mhm.
PS3 games are still cheap. So let's hope, they still release some games every now and then. But
And have
yeah,
backwards
Yeah.
compatibility.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That's
glad.
right.
I'm actually glad the PS5 that I got is not the digital edition one, because I just recently learned that the PS5 with the CD or the DVD port is actually backwards compatible up until PS3. So
Oh snap!
That's right.
yeah, so I can play some retro games on it as well.
I mean,
Cool.
Sir Joel has this look. How the hell did he got a PS5 and I still
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Pretty much. No, but then
He's
again,
cheating right now.
then again, for
I'm in
me,
the UAE, but it was tough. It was tough to get one.
Oh, I see.
I had to buy a bundle instead of just buying the console.
Did you buy it for
Because-
3 times the price?
No. I didn't get it for scalp
I know
price.
with the amount of money you have, you won't
No,
mind
no, no, no,
buying
no,
it
no.
at 3 times.
That's
I-
exposed.
when
Exposed.
it comes to consoles and gaming, because I'm very utilitarian with the things that I play. So it's not like my gaming collection or my toy collection. When I use it and I play it all the time, I don't want to pay more than the SRP or the retail price. So I actually waited for a
Yeah.
store to have it and then ordered it and then waited. I waited 3 months just to have my PS5, and then had to buy it with 2 games, with the extra controller and extra stuff, because the store doesn't want to sell just the console alone.
Yeah,
No
the base.
store was selling just the console alone.
I see.
Yeah, but
They're upselling their stuff because
Oh,
a lot of people are,
Yeah.
instead of buying a
Even
scalp.
here in the Philippines,
Yeah.
nothing. You can't buy the base unit alone.
Yeah, because
Because
instead
we
of
don't have any
paying
choice.
from a scalper,
Mhm.
might as well they make money out of you by selling, other products. So that's how I got my
Yeah.
PS5.
Good
All right,
point.
all right. There you go, guys. How about Sir BJ?
Yeah, no.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, the only thing that I'm looking forward to for PS5 is Marvel's Wolverine, and that's probably the most exclusive thing for PS5 at the moment. Everything else is coming over to PC. Everything else is on PlayStation 4. I'm not surprised, just as Stadia announced their closure
Yeah.
just January 18.
yeah,
I mean, but we almost bought a PS4, but opted for a Switch instead, and it's been 10 years. I think it's time that we move on to a new thing so that there will be more PS5s available. In fact, Tito Joel, if you want, we can talk offline and we can make a deal.
Oh yeah,
later.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
G3,
negotiation.
G3.
Yeah,
Now they're
negotiation
talking
can be
sales
done.
here.
Definitely, yeah.
Racketeering
You're having a
at
bit of a
its
deal.
best. Racketeering at its best.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Sounds
So,
good.
so that's it for our gaming news, guys.
Oh,
And
actually,
before
Joe, if I can interject
Yeah.
a little bit, BJ touched on this. I was watching a documentary on it last night from Rerez. If anybody knows the YouTube channel,
Yeah,
Rerez.
re-res. Yeah.
Oh, rewrite, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
talking about the closure of the Stadia. That's a little bit of
Yeah.
news too. That happened January 18 here in the United States, and the fact that Stadia shuttered everything, and the Rerez came out with a 30-minute recap of Stadia's life and horrendous death.
Yeah,
And
it's
he
rant.
the channel touched on that. But the fact is, to share my thoughts on the death of PS4, and I'm number one, I'm saddened because I'm very much a PS4 guy. If I'm sharing my picture here, Joe, if you can share the photo here, I was packing away my PS4 stuff because of the fact that I've been
Look
collecting
at
since
that
the
treasure box.
yeah, that's basically, and that's a little bit of an acknowledgement of the chats too, by the way, because Raymond John Rendes on the chats did say that he wanted to see my collection, and of course Tito Popoy, Jeff
Amazing.
Sabdalia. Actually, it's been this is box number 1 of 4, if I remember correctly.
Wow,
This
one of
two-
four boxes.
Beautiful.
yeah,
Four
that's 2
boxes.
levels. The thing about it is, I've been collecting for a little while now. Here in the United States, I don't buy a PlayStation 4 game unless it hits my magical unless it hits my magical price point of $20. So all of this stuff is $20 and below, and I'm saddened by the death of the PlayStation 4, but I'm also kind of relieved because I don't have to keep buying stuff anymore, and I don't have I get now I'll be able to play my PlayStation 4 collection in earnest. I won't just keep buying stuff. I'll
Right.
start playing already what's there. So I in a way it's I'm saddened, but I'm also relieved. That's my feeling about the PlayStation 4 death or closure, shall we say? All right, back to you, Shin.
Okay, so anyways, well, now that we already have the news out of the way, so I guess we can already start with the topic of this episode, which is everybody's been waiting for, Dragon Ball games, Dragon Ball Z games.
There you go.
First and
Yeah.
foremost, before we actually start as well, I know that I'm trying to keep everybody on hold right now, but I would like to actually greet everybody who's actually listening and watching. My Ninong Raymond is down there, along with my beloved fiance Momo. Hi, Han. William
Hello.
Denaya, the Master Gaming. Ninja Master Gaming also did happen to mention a lot of information of different games of Dragon Ball games, like the very first ones. And thank you for your information, Ninja Master. You're awesome. And Kuya Jepoy, who's also down there, who's apparently waiting Dragon Ball X Sailor Moon. So, yeah, please, please, Kuya,
Ibang
Please.
fighting yan. Ibang
Please.
fighting yan.
Kuya,
Yeah.
it's 2023. I've been trying to change, alright? I'm not the hentai art president anymore, okay? Apparently. Allegedly.
That's the kind of fighting game where everybody wins in the end. There you go.
Yes, exactly. Also, the Lonely Nixie is also there. Hello, mega love shout out to everybody down there and Baruna Roika. Anyways, since we're gonna start with the 16-bit era, I believe me and Trix are gonna have a bit of a field day here because I believe people of our generation did get exposed with a lot of the 16-bit Dragon Ball Z games, such as the Butoden series. Now, has any of you guys have tried it? I'm going to try to ask Trix first. Like, what's your experiences with the 16-bit Dragon Ball Z games?
Who specifically?
You, Trix, you.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Before the 16-bit, I actually started with the 8-bit Dragon Ball game.
Oh.
I'm sure my brother remembers this. It's called Dragon Ball Z Gekito Tenkaichi Budokai. It was only released in Japan, and it's a fighting game, an unbalanced one at that, because it needed cards. That's where you get your characters. But the ones we got, since we only had the game and not the card reader, we were up against very unbalanced characters. Like I would be Yamcha, and I would be up against Super Trunks. That would be the most amazing matchup ever. Because I beat Super Trunks as Yamcha somehow.
That's like a mountain against like a man right there. I mean,
As
Is the
like,
power scaling like the anime, like the actual
it's
anime power
the
scaling?
actual anime power scaling. Like
Yeah, yeah. Like when Yamcha does his Wolfang Fist, it does nothing to Trunks. And he grinded the shit out of that fight until he got, inch by inch. He got in.
I actually blew all my ki away and just resorted to punching and kicking. So I managed to stun lock Trunks all the way back. After that, I was up against Cell. So you can
Oh yes, that's an adventure right there. Cell with
Yeah.
Congratulations, getting Trunks. Here's a harder one.
What was the game, Sir Trix? What was the game?
Dragon Ball Gekito Tenkaichi Budokai.
Ah, right. So I
I
got
can imagine Trix having seen the Yamcha death moment a lot. You know, the
Oh,
way
that's
he's
a meme
in that
already.
Well,
that
the
hole
thing, the
there.
thing with Trix is he's a huge Yamcha fan. He loves freaking Yamcha.
I love Yamcha.
He
Since
gets
I started-
angry. Nagagalit yan kapag sinasabihan nila, oh, you're such a Yamcha. You know, like he hates the thing.
Ow!
Like,
But he
I
has
love
the
Yamcha.
coolest. He has the coolest moveset ever, like the Wolf Fang Fist. He has that
Yeah.
wolf howl at the end. It's awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Like,
I mean,
he was-
oh,
he
and
was
I
my
mean, in
favorite
fairness,
character. Yeah.
if you think about it, like, despite like you like Yamcha, I mean, not sorry to jump into the most furthest latest game out there, the fighting Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Fighters. Yeah,
Yeah, if you think about it, is that
Yeah,
just
that
because they didn't scale all the power level of everybody, Yamcha is pretty much like on one of the top tier. Like a
On
lot of people
season
actually
one.
select them.
On season 1, and then they buffed everybody to the point that now Yamcha is fucking mid to low
No.
tier now.
That's the reason why.
Pero if you beat the Nappa using Yamcha, there's a dramatic finish where Nappa
Yes.
takes the dead
Yeah,
Yamcha.
yeah.
That's
Yes, the
so
reverse.
satisfying. That is
Yeah,
so
the reverse Yamcha meme. It was like seeing Nappa basically laying down on that crater. You're just like, it took how many decades till we finally could see that again? Oh,
right.
beautiful. It's chef kiss. Chef kiss. That's all I could say. But so besides that, so like let's jump into the 16-bit era now. So was there any 16-bit era games that you really like? Tricks?
I remember the Super Butoden. I think it was
Yes.
two Super Butoden 2.
Oh,
Yes.
everybody remembers Super Butoden 2 on the SNES. That was
Oh, yeah.
Well, the first one, the thing is that the first one is pretty much the second one, only with the better graphics and much better
And-
mechanics.
And yeah, better mechanics than Butoden 1, because Butoden
Yes.
1 didn't have beam struggles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they
yeah.
don't have these struggles, and then at the
Yeah.
same time, when you concentrate, you don't have the aura kind of like effect in there. And
the charging takes so long.
yeah,
Charging like you're actually screaming and you're already out of breath. That's how you
No.
only got this much. You only get
You-
this much.
you know,
out of
honestly, like me and my brother, we actually have decided that like the only way that you can play Butoden 1 and get into the full power ups is like instead of just concentrating, might as well throw as much punches and nudges as much as possible to actually get the power filled up. Because by you actually standing really far away and concentrating and whatnot with the I think like the Y and B, pretty much what happens is like the computer dashes at you so fast that you won't even have any time at all. But yes, like pretty much like what Joel said is that Butoden 2 is the one that everybody remembers, and those who have played this clearly, it's a bragging right. It's our high school days. That
Yeah.
the Goku
And-
Broly code.
the go. Yeah, Broly, of course. Everyone would always go for Broly just because. Oh, you're going for drugs, huh? Okay, let me put on my Broly suit. Like, everyone would go for Broly, and he's
Of
as
course.
broken, and he's always broken every appearance in
Yeah.
Super Butoden.
Yeah, especially Butoden because like his dancing kick attack is way too fast that even though you actually block, there's still enough frames for him to actually do it again that you're pretty much just like waiting to die, But what about the rest of you guys? So like, have you guys actually played Butoden or any other 16-bit games of Dragon Ball Z?
Well, for me, I'm trying to remember a lot about it since I've been on Super Nintendo rentals back in my younger years.
Hmm,
Yeah,
there you go,
yeah,
Ren.
yeah.
There you go.
That's where the
Very
place
good,
is
yeah,
at.
very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
where
but-
you get to meet your friends. That's where you get to smell all the different smells.
Yeah, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I have a funny.
I agree.
Story. I have
Oh,
a
go
funny
ahead,
story.
guys.
Yeah,
It's,
DJ, go ahead.
It's Dragon Ball Z Butoden, and it was Super Trunks, right? You have to do Apex down B, LYRA, get him out.
Yes.
And then you have beam struggles, and
Yes.
ang laro namin doon so that we kind of not to just to equalize the playing field is the beam
Yeah.
struggle. Tapos
Yes.
pabilisan kayo ng pindutan ganon. It's like you press it as far as you can. And that would determine how good you are at the game, right?
Yes.
Forget your meteor smashes, forget your air
Yeah.
pushes. Pag hindi ka matalo sa beam struggle, solid ka. So, one time, it was Plaza Fair. If you guys remember, Makati Cinema Square, Pasong
Yeah.
Tamo, we'd go there with Ren.
Sa baba.
Oh,
And then
we've got
there's-
Seabird. There you go. Go ahead, go ahead.
Hey,
Continue,
guess
BJ.
Bert.
No,
Uy,
no.
kilala ko yan ah.
Continue, BJ. Continue.
And
Hello.
we went there. Tapos there's this guy who's always there, who's always playing Butod and hogging the thing. And the only way that you could get him off is if you play him on that with that particular rule. Nothing but beam struggles. Tapos pabilisan lang. Nobody could beat the guy. So my brother, we would play, we would practice hanggang sa I think I realized that the advantage to my shaky hand. Kasi I have a naturally shaky hand.
Yeah.
I do. It shakes on its own. So ginawa ko, I trained for like Dragon Ball training for like this like every single day of my life. Every single day, week after week, parang hanggang sa tinalo ko siya ba. And nung natalo ko siya, he left and I never saw the dude again. I don't know what happened. Like, I never
I
saw the dude
say
again.
You
I guess he
broke
passed
his
his title to
dreams,
you
man.
already. No, he passed his title to you on that day.
I have to say it, BJ. Pinaktis mo mag-finger.
Exactly. I was fingering that thing every single day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just bumped our rating up to R. Okay.
That goes the family show.
It's a game.
There
It's
goes
a
the
game.
family
Guys,
show.
guys,
Let's
it's
keep it
in-game.
Yes.
Or sometimes
Hindi, pare. And I just surpassed my limit to I can challenge anyone, man. I can out-finger you in Dragon Ball. That's all I'm saying.
And that was before yung di ba, yung mga tawag-
Dragon Ball,
yung turbo,
And it's no
Guys,
coincidence. It's no coincidence that BJ became very popular with the ladies after that. Anyway, continue.
You're not gonna get named BJ for nothing, man. I mean,
So BJ is a button jammer because BJ is
There
like
you go.
you're jamming buttons really fast.
Yeah.
We saved this stream and brought it back into a Christian channel.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
basically, like Kuya BJ pretty much said, like that is one of the competition. But you gotta admit, if you know the Meteor Smash, you are popular with your friends because
yeah.
everybody, like that one, like if you're using either Piccolo or Goku, you have like the Kyuken or like the energy stare thing that Piccolo has, and usually that brought your opponent to a stun state. Usually, people when they get to that stun state, all they do is like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go really far away and concentrate and do a power up." But me and my friends, it's like whenever we get to that point, we basically just go with a meteor smash. And people that doesn't know how to counter that hates it so much because when you don't know how to counter that or actually lessen damage, people pretty much was like, oh god, like how could we even get out of this? Like huge damage. And then like one of my big bros was like, you don't know you just have to tap the opposite dash twice, right? On a perfect timing so that it'll stop you from hitting a wall or something, right? And I was like, no, there's no way. And then he did it. Like literally after the meteor smash, his character just like stopped, landed. And I was like, I gotta go back to school tomorrow and actually beat everybody on that video place. And when I did that, everybody was like, "Oh, you got video!" What? I was like, "Yeah, yeah."
Guys, cheating.
Yeah, it's like it feels good because like nobody knows about it because for most of you youngins down there, back in the day, the only way that you would know how a game mechanics work, especially in fighting games, is two ways. Either the computer does it to you, or somebody does it to you. That's usually it. You don't have a YouTube video or a magazine. Even the magazine is so very like vague in telling you the mechanics. So the only way that like me, Trex, everybody here have played the Butoden series, figure out more of the moves is not because like we watch a video. We actually get our ass more than once and then have to beg the guy, how did you do that? You know?
Show us how you did that.
I can sympathize with that.
Yes.
So, manuals anyway.
But besides me, Trix, and KBJG, what about the rest of you guys? Like, have you guys tried it out, or is there any other sing-bit games that you guys play?
Actually, right now I'm having so much fun watching the chats. Everybody's just just going crazy in the chats. Some of these I can't even translate into English. I mean, particularly,
Yeah.
particularly Raymond John Rendez says nagtutusok ng totoy sa likod. Anyway, that usually happens in the cyber cafes and in the rental shops. Miguel Anton Filard says the button fingering causes opponent physical pain. That's from your story, BJ, right there. And it's just amazing. I love how everybody's interacting in the chat. Please, just express your opinions there, and we'll just talk back to
and my fiance is like, "Ahem," and I was like, I'm trying to be good. Huh? I'm trying to be good. I promise.
yeah. Anyway, so for those of you who do have memories of the games like Butoden 2, actually, for those of you who have not tried Butoden 2 yet, the few of you who haven't, I seem to recall, Shin, that there is an English patch that just came out for Super Butoden 2.
Yes.
Those of you who are averse to trying to read Japanese text, you might want to try that out. Shin, that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I believe that like in the story mode, a lot of people who have played it before back in the day just assume that like you just go through all the fights and that's it. But actually, there is a certain route in order for you to get the real true ending of the game.
Real fight.
Yeah, a real fight, and basically that's when you know you're in the right path in the story mode. It's like if you do end up fighting Goku or Broly, but if you never end up fighting them and you just through the story, pretty much you just had like the normal ending. You didn't get the real true ending.
I see. So it's like an exclusive ending for the game, and the normal ending is much like what we watch from the animes themselves.
Yeah, exactly. But also, what you call it? You were about to say something, Hanako?
Oh no, I'm not. I can't say anything, but I'm not actually familiar about the 16-bit. Most likely, I played is the Dragon Ball on the PS1 version. You know the GT version.
Oh,
Final Bout.
Final bout, yeah.
Final bout. Yeah, final bout.
Not the half about it, Hirudegarn.
That's another button mashing thing.
Yeah.
I think BJ knows which one you actually have to mash your buttons with as far as the PTR connects and
A
whatnot.
little bit of context here, though. Miss Honaka is how old?
23.
23.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's basically,
So young.
she's
Yeah.
she's the new gen. So we're basically introducing all of these Dragon Ball games to her, so she can play them in the future.
You know how much it hurts that like when you were playing these Dragon Ball games, it doesn't even exist yet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't have to remind me, Shin. It's
Final
painful.
Oh yeah, there you go. Final bout. There you go. Right there. It's like-
Oh, I remember this.
Last one.
You know, I always go to in Plaza Fair in Cubao to actually just play this game along with the other one. Besides Hyper Battle, Ultimate Battle 27, there was another one that's like Dragon Ball Z Legends, which is like a
Oh,
cell
Legends,
shaded
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
I want to see Hirudegarn, the walking half body leg thing. It's weird because it just walks around with its legs and kicks you to death. That's what it does. Yun lang yun eh.
yeah. You see, there you go. That's when you actually mash the bot. Okay, he didn't connect, but I think like the highest I ever got to that one was 20, and I saw somebody else that's gone beyond that. And the thing is, that, like by the time you get all the way to the limit, it basically stops.
Was
Go,
that the
all right,
first,
Han.
3D
This was
Dragon
so
Ball
clunky
fighting
to
game?
play. Like,
It was, and you know the thing is, you know like when somebody picks Super Saiyan 4 Goku on this
Yeah.
one,
everyone
Just drop the controller.
does.
Everyone
Just drop the
does.
controller.
Everybody.
That's it, you win.
uses
That's it.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, seriously, like if you play Super Saiyan Goku 4, he has like this dancing kick move.
They're the one that goes
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like kick, teleport downwards, kick, and if it hits you, he basically dashes around you, does it again, and you're just like, okay, just drop the controller, just watch.
Yeah.
You're basically just watching a theatrics.
Back down
Yeah.
forward circle.
But you know, before we actually get to all the other games, I know that we're basically jumping from the 16-bit to the 32-bit. Let's start to actually since Kuya Quiz Ninong Joel was talking about the show and tell earlier that we usually have every episode. I believe that we actually have one show and tell today.
Cool.
We should, yeah, and it's a tradition here. Mga kuya ko sa G3, it's like we always do the show and tell, and I believe that like one of our mainstays here, si Kuya Siebert, has something to show us. Kuya Siebert, take it away.
I'm seeing fighters, man. I'm seeing fighters.
I know. I actually want to play right now.
Fighters, yes. Actually, wala akong alam sa Dragon Ball.
Oh, come on.
No, because I remember when we were kids, kasi Channel 7 ata yun. Every day they show Dragon Ball. Si Frieza pa ata yung time na yun. Then they will show that actually umabot ng 2 months nanonood ako ng Dragon Ball. Then after 2 months, sa sobrang tagal niya naglalaban, ni-replay niya. So, yun ang bad trip dati.
Nulit.
Yes.
Yun sa TV series, if you remember that,
count.
grabe nakakabwisit yung mga panahon yun. So, definitely meron na YouTube at DVD. So, medyo nakahabol, pero I'm not exactly that familiar.
Yeah. Sabi ko nga kuya, you ain't retro if you didn't experience replay.
True.
Pero, meron ako i-share. So, kasi,
Yeah.
Go.
Here we have this, here in Timeless Gamers, kasi we have this rotational yung pagpili namin. So, this is, I did this by accident kasi. So, I'm not only a gamer kasi meron rin akong trip na I do mod. So, nagmo-modify na nagre-restore din ako as a hobby. So, if you've seen some of my work, medyo naka-ugalian ko na siyang gawin. So, lately, I saw this toy na kasi parang flashback sa akin eh. So, if you remember Goku, na bata pa siya, na with the Dragon Ball series back in the day. So, medyo memorable siya sa akin. Nakita ko yung toy. So, naisip ko, uy, parang sakto to sa PlayStation 1 ah. So, I made a mod. So, I made this. Pakita ka. Tadang!
There you go.
Oh, cool! Wow.
Nice.
That is so cool.
How do you open it though?
Yeah, that's a good
How does
question, Chris.
You turn that on or?
Press the Dragon Ball, of course.
There you go. Still fully functional.
Wow.
It is. So,
Yes.
Ha!
So,
I know
the
where
models,
Josh's money is going.
with matching wireless controller.
Nice. Oh, show
boy.
right
Naka, boy. Somebody's gonna be barraging your PM anytime soon. Just letting you know.
Nice.
So I matched the controller with
the console itself.
Yes.
Nice.
So
Very
thank you
good.
Shopee for the wireless controller. Alam mo, natutuwa ako sa Shopee kasi mura lang to. Siguro nasa 220 pesos.
Uh-huh.
This is
The memory card. Oh, you made sure that the memory card was matched the color it did. You know, that's cool.
And now somebody saying mine in the comment section.
Yeah, somebody's already claiming Siebert.
As a matter of fact, somebody also, Miguel Anton Villard just said, you use the Dragon Balls there to wish the game still works. Yes, I agree.
Ayun na, may nag-dibs na Siebert to.
Kala ko paparaffle eh.
Pero Charlie, alam.
Oh, raffle time daw, sabi. Alam mo, what you gotta do is you add a little bit of Sailor Moon into it, that price.
Oh my goodness!
Price is gonna jack up twice, I swear to God. Lalo na ito. What's up,
Filing my wife.
I love how you use jack up.
I know, he made
Of
sure
course,
that
of course.
that's the phrase he used.
Of course.
You had to say jack up in that sentence, in that same sentence.
I mean, I can change the phrasal verb, but I think that's gonna get us banned. So.
Wait, I'll show you my Sailor Moon. Wait lang, ha?
Ayan.
Wait,
Later.
Is it a full figurine?
you buy it as a bundle then. Like,
Correct.
Kinukuha ni Siebert, guys. I actually know him from RGCP. We've been talking for a while. He
Oh, there
has
you go.
one of the best
Nice.
horror games collection from
Yes.
people
Yeah,
that I know who collects games.
Thank you, sir,
Yes.
Charlie. Nice
Very
to see you,
nice.
sir.
I like how the color scheme fits the PS1 perfectly. I like because of the fact that the PS1 was originally grayish. This color scheme of it highlights how much more colorful the console can be with a little bit of customization. Excellent job, Sievert. I like it. I like it very
Yeah.
much.
Actually,
Looks good.
thank you guys. Pero alam mo, there's one thing I learned from doing this mod because I was opting to do a Dragon Ball Z with a Z.
Okay.
It turned out yung Dragon Ball Z na episode pala, malaki lang si Goku.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yung pala yung difference ng Dragon Ball sa Dragon Ball Z. So,
Yeah.
I've been watching it. I grew up watching Dragon Ball, pero lately ko lang siya natututunan after doing the
Yeah, actually, for a lot of people who started on Z, I would highly recommend going back to the original Dragon Ball series where Goku was still a child. It's a really good series still. It holds up, and it's very much more focused on martial arts than Z is.
Right.
And the adventures too.
On adventures,
It
martial arts.
it's originally based off like from the Journey to the West, and
Yes,
then they
Journey to the
add
West.
more
One of the four-
elements.
That's why
Yeah.
Oolong exists.
Yes, one of the four. Yes, exactly. One of the four classic Chinese novels, Journey to the West. A good
Journey to
reference.
the West. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's why we were hoping. That was why we were hoping that in the next Kakarot DLC is about OG
Not even
Dragon Ball.
DLC.
Mm.
Just OG Dragon Ball, Kakarot style. I don't want it as a DLC. I want it as a standalone thing.
Mhm.
Of course,
You know,
told it that.
you know what? I agree. Because the thing is that like if you just have it as a DLC, it kind of ruins the whole fun of knowing that like Goku can now fly, he can now use the Kamehameha, he can do all these other things because
He can
it's a
do so
DLC.
much
You have the
stuff.
mechanics of the game itself. But if it's a standalone game, you're
Mm.
pretty much gonna have to go through the whole journey, and at the same time, if you think about it, there's so many side stories, and let's not forget that Akira Toriyama's other series, Doctor Slump, they
Slump,
also had a cameo in the Dragon Ball manga, and pretty much even in the anime, that they're pretty much in the same world. So
Mhm.
it's actually like what Trix just said. Yeah, you can just have a game on its own, which is just Dragon Ball, and you can just explore the whole damn place. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. You don't when you fly, you don't have to do your usual flying. You can make the journey to get the cloud.
The Kenshin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kinton Cloud has to be there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, you get to meet Motaito. You get to learn the Mafuba. You get to, it's. I sure
And,
that
and you
climbing
get to
scene-
relive the scene with Bulma.
Yes,
Oh,
of course.
yeah.
You get to check.
Which one?
As
Which one?
Goku,
The sleep,
you can check
the
if
sleeping scene.
everybody's female. Like that's the thing. Back in the OG thing, he checked. You're a girl, aren't you? When he says that line,
I mean, that's what makes Dragon Ball amazing, the OG one, because it was way more comedic than every Dragon Ball after.
Yeah.
It was
Exactly.
focused on comedy, adventure, and everything. And
Very
watching that
true.
as a kid, it was just pure fun.
I mean, Goku
Yeah.
checked Chi-Chi's gender by,
Tapping.
something is-
Yeah, by tapping.
no. He kicked Chi Chi's.
Yes.
He checked Bulma's by patting it.
Yes.
He even checked Oolong if he's a guy.
Yeah.
Even Nam guy, the Indian dude. Nam, he checked him out. Awesome, dude. Goku.
Oh, a little bit of just here on the chat, Siebert. If Siebert is hearing it, Miguel Anton Filart had
Oh, hey.
a really good
Nice, Sega
suggestion.
Game
I
Gear.
think he put. Oh, there you go.
There's a
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Siebert showing his Sailor Moon mod of his Game Gear right there.
Nice,
Very
nice.
nice.
And
Yeah,
now you
awesome,
have to
dude.
put those two together, Siebert. They're your Sailor Moon and your Goku.
So
mod.
we're
Yes.
definitely gonna get a Dragon Ball X Sailor Moon thing.
Please
tonight.
put them together.
Yes. Actually, Miguel Anton Filart in the chats made a good recommendation, Siebert, if you want to have a look at it. It says, can really see different Dragon Ball themed PlayStations, like with Frieza colors or Cell standing in his arena. Those are pretty good suggestions. Why not? If you can-
Yamcha on his ass like that.
Yeah. Yamcha and the Crater.
Even
No one would like
yeah.
Yamcha doing the Wolfgang fist pose. No one would like that. They want
the Robo
it
Fufuken.
dead.
Oh my
Like
god.
also even like what you call it. So my fiance was like saying that like the way everybody reacted on the scene with Bulma is epic. It's just like it was memorable one. That's the reason why. And because of our reaction, one of my ninongs, besides Ninong Joel up here, my ninong down there, Kuya Ninong Raymond says, laro tayo, focus focus sa paghahalataan all this gold. We're trying, Ninong. We're trying. This is the best we could do. Talaga. So,
Oh,
um,
have a look. Siebert even modified the Game Gear box to show the Sailor Moon is being part.
You gotta
part
put
of
them
it.
together, dude. Dude, you gotta
Yeah.
figure out a way.
wow.
Use these two together, using the Futara earrings or the dance. I don't care. You gotta put them together.
I actually posted
Kailangan
this.
magsama yan.
I posted this.
It's possible.
In
It's possible.
Very nice.
in US in Reddit.
Yes.
So they're asking, have they ever released the Sailor Moon exclusive in Japan? I never answered that.
Yeah. Now the thing about it is, once you start posting it on Reddit, it'll go viral, and you'll start getting commissions galore. But I can only imagine that Siebert's gonna have to give up his day job and concentrate full time on doing that.
Pretty much. I mean, he needs to actually figure out how to connect the Potara earrings on those two consoles, and then the handheld in order for them to fuse. Because you can never really fuse them together. Because like the other one's a Game Gear, the other one's a PlayStation. If you have two PlayStation, they can fuse together.
Mhm.
I actually drilled those in order to affix those Dragon Balls. So,
Dang. Okay. It must have been really delicate work for you to drill
Yeah.
that in then. Oh my goodness.
Kinda.
Okay. Kind
When-
of.
Okay, so we're basically talking about jacking things up. Now we're drilling things. I mean, this is going to be
We're
a very
not
wonderful.
there yet. We're
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just started with the
We
podcast.
took a very left turn.
Yeah, the innuendos are just flowing tonight. I don't know if it's just because Dragon Ball just tend to do that to us, but anyways,
Charlie says the conversation took a really a sudden left turn in the vernacular na napunta yung usapan sa biglang liko. Anyway, continue.
Now we
I
don't
know
Alright.
you guys can break through your limits. You guys can do more.
Oh yeah,
You said
absolutely.
no limits.
yeah, we're going Vegeta mode on this one, going beyond the Super Saiyan. Okay? We're going beyond okay.
The
Now,
thing is, the reason why I said the Bulma scene, because it actually was a very iconic scene for
Yeah.
kids. Like we were for nowadays, everything is very censored.
yeah, you'll get into
Right.
trouble nowadays, diba?
Like-
It's like
You
If
can't
you're
do
a
that.
seven, yeah, like if you're a 7-year-old kid or a 5-year-old kid, you won't let them watch that kind of shit. But we grew up around it, and,
I mean, it's not that like I would want to do that to my classmate the next day to make sure they're girls. I mean, they are wearing, but I mean, it does actually lead you to that kind of curiosity. It's like, so basically, he uses Bulma's underpants as a pillow, and he
Right.
took it off.
Oh, there we
There
go.
you go. There you go. There's the- It's like it's not the same. But there you go. See,
yeah.
Well, the
There
thing
you
is,
go.
it shows Goku's innocence. It shows how
Yeah.
Exactly.
It does,
completely innocent
it does.
he was, and it's I guess it just shows like Lee says how much got through to kids back then compared to what's getting through the kids nowadays. But then again, a lot of the stuff is getting through the kids nowadays in alternate ways anyway, like TikTok or Roblox. They're starting to see a lot
Right.
of things too.
Yeah.
So it's just different avenues of the same material, shall we say?
exactly. But let's try to steer everything back from
Mm.
steering all the way to the left. Let's go back steering back to the right here.
Yes.
So let's continue on with the whole because now we're already talking about the 32-bit gaming
Yes,
and
we touched on
that's like
PS1 already.
yeah, the PS1 era. We were just showing Final Bout. there's other ones as well, which is like Ultimate Battle 22, but it really is 27 with all the secret characters. And there's also, I believe, like the one that I said earlier, which was Dragon Ball Legends.
Originally,
And
original titled as 22, but because of the secret code, that's why it turned into 27. So it's like having two games in one.
I wouldn't really call it two games in one because I mean,
It's just extra
it has two
characters.
titles in one game.
yes, it's your characters, pal. Come on, it's just like that's also like saying Butoden 7, but really it's Butoden 9.
Oh, I see.
This is two separate. I mean, if it's a two separate games, if there's another mini game, or it's basically putting in the code, it's a whole different game now. But really, it's basically
They're
It
just
feel-
giving
it
you
just
extra.
feels like that because of the title change.
yeah,
Thanks to the code.
yeah. It's just a code. It just changes. Like it just added 5 characters. I mean, nowadays you just call that freaking PC. Anyways, see, this is the one that I'm talking about, which is the Dragon Ball Z Legends, and a lot of people, I remember back in the days when they were playing this, we have to figure out how to actually do all these connects because that's when fun starts. Because we're basically covering it with our faces. There is a power bar underneath it, where if you fill that bar up, it actually leads your character who filled it up to do the super move of that specific character. There you go, the power balance right there.
Oh.
See that one? Oh yeah, like if you figure that out and how to actually count that, because this is a really high-paced game. If you pretty much get yourself to slack off, the computer pretty much is going to beat the living crap out of you.
Whichever the characters on the top will be the ones doing the super
Yes.
move, right?
Yeah.
This was our Dragon Ball Z Kakarot back in the day.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is our Kakarot back in the days, and without any much knowledge in Japanese, we just like
We just played it.
enjoy watching this. Yeah, we enjoy watching the story mode.
Played this.
Good input on that, JDM. Basically, I guess you can say that a lot of the games nowadays, or a lot of the Dragon Ball Z games nowadays, are just refinements or modifications of the games that came before, particularly this one. Can you I can imagine playing this game. Is this on PS1?
Yeah, PS1.
Yeah, so I can
Yeah,
imagine
this is
playing
a
this
PS1
game. Yeah, I can imagine playing this game on Siebert's modified console right now, and then that would just complete the experience.
Oh, it's like, you would assume that like this won't give you a lot of replay value, but the thing is that like if you start playing it not on the story mode and just against friends, it gets even really really fun because it's not like you're not dealing with one character, right? You're dealing with four or three, you know.
We can,
But,
even team up. We can even team up. So multi-tap is amazing. If you
Yes. Yes, exactly. What you call it? So yeah. So besides that, is there any other games that you guys actually because you've noticed all we've been talking about are all fighting games because the majority of us did end up growing up with the fighting game Dragon Ball. There is a lot of like RPG ones as well, even in the business days, but it's pretty much like kind of like an acquired taste because of the way that like you have to really understand how to play it. But you were saying?
There is one game I remembered back in the Game Boy days.
Yes.
I forgot.
Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure.
No, this is before Advanced.
Oh yeah.
Because there was one.
Okay, Hanaka was like, "Oh yeah, I guess you got a Eureka moment there." Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is the one where you actually go through Dragon Road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the one. If you're
I just
actually
forgot
talking
the
about
title.
Advanced Adventure, how many times I already played that game back in Game Boy Advance?
Is it?
It's like a
is it
side-scrolling game. It's not a fighting game per se. It's basically a side-scrolling adventure.
Yeah, it's a side scrolling. Yeah.
It's a scrolling adventure, basically more likely also a platform game.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep.
That's the one.
Legendary Super Warriors. Okay, on Game Boy Color, is this it?
Yeah, that's the color one.
The one I remember is on the original Game Boy. Basically, you just train I only got so far in the Saiyan Saga because I can read Japanese, so
Yeah.
I came
Yeah.
to.
I believe
You guys like there's this like, one game. I don't know if you guys know, from the Bandai Playdia. There's this really obscure Dragon Ball game. It's called The True Plan to Eradicate All Saiyans.
Yes,
With
I remember that one on the NES game.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
big bad guy named Hachiak was there. He was a
Yeah.
Tuffle android.
Yes.
Supposed to be, they say, because it's not canon, it's supposed to be at the same level as Broly, but that was one of the weirdest bosses we actually I thought he was going to make an appearance in Dragon Ball Super. But it wasn't. But it wasn't him. But I remember watching that, playing that even up to the Raging Blast 2 in Xbox 360. But the first time I encountered that boss was just crazy. He's huge. He has purple beads everywhere, and that was just great. That was the first time we were introduced to a Tuffle villain before
Yeah.
GT.
I believe they because they did release that for the Nintendo at first, and then they decided to actually bring it back in much later games. If I recall, there was actually I can't pinpoint which game it was, but they actually brought Hachak back. In fact, only did they brought him back, but they remastered the anime that was actually released
Raging
for
Blast 2.
Hachak.
Yeah, Raging Blast 2, and now he's in
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Heroes, I think. So.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
What a
that-
weird thing.
Hmm.
It's like he's like a Tuffle android.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's the
that
most
one.
annoying thing to actually
that
watch.
one.
Yeah, because like when everybody was beating him up, the moment he starts glowing, everybody just froze and just let him do whatever he wanted. And I'm just like, why is this character so OP?
No, but the thing is, when he
Technology.
does that thing,
So that's the
that
guy.
pose, he has to charge, and they
Yeah,
figured out
that
he
pose, yeah,
can't
that's
do
the one where
anything to him
Yeah.
unless he's doing that, and that's when they start beating him up.
Yes.
And that was just
Yes.
downhill for him after that. It was funny.
Yeah.
True.
And the thing is, it's like I believe like what he did is it releases a certain virus to everyone and that actually turns them into like it's like it's so like I can't remember most of it because like, I remember seeing the old one and then seeing the one from Raging Blast, and I'm just like have like this disconnected flashback of it because of the way seeing the new one from the old one.
Hachiaku. It's weird, man.
Yeah, but also just a little bit of an info for those who actually did end up playing what you call it Ultimate Battle 22/27. If you are a bit of an audiophile and you like the soundtrack, believe it or not, the theme of every characters in there are actually the same theme that's being used in Pototen.
Oh, for real? Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
it's
Yeah, if you listen closely, you will realize that, like, Piccolo would actually have the same theme. Vegeta has the same thing. Trunks, especially Trunks, it has
Yeah.
like the most memorable soundtrack for the Pototen series. That, like, when you listen to it on the Ultimate Battle 2027, you're like, yeah, you're like, yeah, that part. You're like, okay, that's Trunks' theme right there. So, anyways, it's like we're already like jumping into all those like we were actually on the Game Boy thing and we were on the 32-bit thing. Are we just going to be talking about the 32 era, or are we going to move forward?
No, because the thing is, Dragon Ball games, and this is just to share my thought on the matter. I think
Yeah.
Dragon Ball games reached its peak once it hit the PlayStation, all the way to the PlayStation 2. It
Yes.
kind of wavered after PlayStation.
I agree.
On the PlayStation 3. There was even an Xbox Kinect Dragon Ball.
Kinect
Remember
Dragon
that?
Ball.
The Kinect
Yes.
Dragon Ball. Yeah, you remember that? I was
And-
happy. I was mad out of my brains. I was doing it.
It's funny you-
I was doing it.
It's funny you guys talk about that because the lonely Nixie down there just says, "Ever heard of the Dragon Ball VR VS? That's the arcade game, I believe."
Yes.
Yes.
I remember
It's like a face-to-face kind of game, and you pretty much like you just throw as much punches as possible, dash away, throw a lot of fireballs, and then like you hold the two buttons, did a 360 degrees, and then you'll do the super move. Yeah, that's the Kinect one.
VRBS.
So cool, man. I was such a child playing this thing.
I don't care. I like to connect. People
So-
just don't know how to play it properly.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people just I guess a lot of people just misunderstand how the connect, the whatever mechanic that normally was available back then. They misunderstand how it's supposed to be used, but it can be a lot of fun when you get into
Yeah.
it.
True. I remember I was playing this. I was playing this exact game in my living room, and my son, who was about 5 or 4 years old at the time, could not understand what was going on. Like, what's my dad doing, yelling like this thing's Goku? And the thing is, if you want to do a Kamehameha, you really have to shout, so it
have to
adds
do
bonus
it,
to it. And I did it with all my heart. And
I am
I
going
was
to take note
Goku
of
for
those.
that day. I was so happy.
Now,
You know,
about the
yep,
only
yep.
thing that I can wish for, aside from this one, the first person Dragon Ball, is a first person Star Wars with lightsaber battling game. I
They
would
did.
say.
They actually
They
did.
did.
I don't
They
think
did.
I don't think I ever played that
So,
one. Which
as
one
a
is
matter of
that
fact,
one?
they even have that in the arcade, actually. If
Yeah,
you
they have it on the
recall.
arcade.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think
they
I
have it
played
on
that
the-
one. What's the title of it? I'll have to search it out.
It was the Star Wars trilogy. Basically, the first game gave you the fight on the Death Star. The
Mhm.
second game gave you the fight with, not second game. The second movie gave you the fight with Darth Vader, complete with lightsaber action.
Wow.
And the third one gave you the battle on Endor on the speeder bike.
Dang, I'm gonna have to search that one out. But getting back to Dragon Ball though, this is awesome. If they remastered that for PSVR 2, heck, I wouldn't be surprised if it sold like pancakes. Mhm.
Maybe that's the very game that will fulfill everyone's childhood wish
Oh, this
to
is
have
the
everyone
virtual
Yeah,
version.
to have everyone's spirit energy.
Yeah, see, I'm
That's-
going to be
that's
taking
what I've
notes
been saying.
for my kids. Once I have my kids, basically, I'm going to take notes and I'm going to teach them how to scream Dragon Ball style.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just have to say, yung mga kabataan yun,
Yeah,
yung
B,
mga
watch
kabataan
out.
yun,
I'm
pare.
gonna B, if you're watching B, I'm going to teach you how to scream like this.
You were saying, BJ, go ahead.
No, problema kasi sa kabataan ngayon, pare, 14 anyos, 12 anyos, so problema jowa. Nung 12 ko, pare, problema ko paano maging super
Para maging
saiyan.
Super Saiyan.
Yes,
And now
I
there's
agree. I agree.
Diba? And with technology today, I can live my dreams.
Very
As
true.
a
We've had very
Ozaru.
different.
You can do
We had
that.
very different goals back then. Again, like to translate what BJ said, a lot of kids nowadays, their main concern is trying to find, a significant
Right?
other.
I need the
Yeah, but
boyfriend.
BJ's
I need
issue back then was how to become a Super Saiyan.
Bro, I don't care if I have a girlfriend. I would love to have Genki Dama, and that's all I need to do.
I just want spirit.
Genki.
You guys are just like wishing for Super Saiyan Genki Dama. You know what I'm wishing for? I want to have a Scout Breather.
Oh
A
yeah.
scout
And what?
reader.
And what? Blow it up when you look at me? No, that's not
Yes.
gonna work. man.
Yes, that's how I know that I actually have learned to go beyond Super Saiyan.
I'm just
Are you
kidding,
over
I'm just kidding.
9,000?
I'm over 9,000, baby.
Got that.
Just to connect to everybody, actually, for those of you who are listening abroad, because Timeless Gamer is a lot of Timeless Gamers audience is Filipinos abroad and people who do remember all those classic video games and amazing stuff that we've been talking about. The thing about the Dragon Ball series is that it does connect both the games and the anime very, very
the anime.
closely. So you can't help talk about the games without talking about the anime. So sometimes there's a tremendous overlap. So those of you in the chats, if you guys have good memories of what you remember from the games and the anime, just type it out and we'll try our very best to read them out so that we can acknowledge everybody's memories. Back to you, Shin.
Yeah, it does. All does actually connect. As a matter of fact, like as Clea B was saying earlier, going back to the whole topic of like when the Dragon Ball was dwindling down. The problem, and maybe I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me on this, but the problem with the Dragon Ball series, especially they're releasing new games, especially with the PS3 era, is that like you are already predicting what's gonna happen. Like if you play the story mode, you know that you're gonna start to fight with Raditz.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
You know how the whole thing goes.
like
There's-
with Budokai, Tenkaichi, you go with the story mode and whatnot. it's just like with Raging Blast that you have a little bit of a different side story, if not. But the majority of them, especially the arena fighting style of Dragon Ball games, you know that like you're gonna start with Raditz, and then you're gonna end up fighting Saiyans, and then you're gonna end up fighting Frieza. But anything after beyond that, by the time that you already go beyond the game itself, it gets a little bit kind of exhausting. That when another game comes out, that's the reason why when Xenoverse came out, a lot of people were very happy, mainly because it's not just like you're reliving the Dragon Ball game and going back in time, quote unquote, but you actually create your own character, and then at the same time, you pretty much have all these different stories and scenarios that you play with. But tell me, guys, like any other games that you guys actually like that are around the 32-bit era?
Oh, that's easy. That would be, Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yes.
The Budokai Tenkaichi games. Like, no
Yes.
offense to the Budokai games, like I prefer the Budokai Tenkaichi, where it has more characters and more options to do with there. Since it's on the 3D plane and the split screen isn't that annoying, actually.
Anybody else? I mean, like I've noticed like the majority of us just talking about Dragon Ball is like just me and Trix. Everyone's just like, yeah, I played that. Yeah, I played it. Come on, guys, come on.
Just to share, guys. So let me share.
Yes, go.
Like you guys, I started with the Super Butoden. When I started collecting retro games, I actually acquired the SFC cartridges, the CIB SFC cartridges of those games, because I remember playing them in the arcade, yung rentahan, and I was playing with my friends, and I always remember there was one guy, he was a bully, so when he loses, he would punch someone. like literally just punch someone.
Why is there always one? Yeah,
there is always one guy, right?
One in every
One guy.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, every fighting game that we played growing up, when he gets beat, he would just, punch someone or punch the other guy that he's playing with. And that cemented my memory with, especially Dragon Ball, Butoden. And then eventually the PS1 came out. The only Dragon Ball game I played on the PS1 was the Final Bout, because I couldn't forget it, because I always remember the Final Bout. It looked like Virtua Fighters. The retro game Virtua Fighters. Like,
Only slower.
Only slow pace.
Right? And then and it was a slow game for me, but after that, the next game that I played was the Budokai Tenkaichi series on the PS2.
Yes.
And I remember they remastered that on the
fireballs.
PS3, which I also bought and played. But yeah, I mean, let me weigh in on why after the PS2 releases, the game kind of wavered down a little bit, because I think at the time when the PS3 remasters came out, the show and the manga wasn't as popular internationally.
Yeah, in fact, it was done. It was done. There's no more.
Exactly.
This was like the void era. This is around the time like when Dragon Ball manga itself pretty much just hit the void, because the Majin era was already over, and then Toriyama just pretty much says it's done, and GT showed up. So
right.
And then we cannot forget the one that brought Dragon Ball back.
And the only
Yes.
Dragon Ball media we had that time
Dragon
is
Ball
Dragon Ball
Evolution.
So
Right.
In the last
No.
few.
And then it just all went downhill right after Dragon Ball Evolution.
I can't, guys. I have been like trying my best to make sure that we're not even gonna mention.
No, but it's an inevitability.
No. It's
an inevitability.
like
something to discuss, because Dragon Ball for us, it was such a big part of our childhood, even a part of our culture. I mean, growing up, if
You're
you're a
showing
90s
it
kid
here?
from the Philippines,
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
sure you tried becoming a Super Saiyan, charging up.
Why are we watching this? Why are we
Why are we
watching this?
watching
It's
this?
Come
a long time
on.
ago.
It's all a
I-
great
okay,
fun.
okay.
Thank you
here's
for
the thing.
showing this.
Here's the thing, right, guys? Just to actually just a little context. It's not like I hate it because it was westernized. The other reason why I really don't like this movie at all is because during my days as a visual effects artist, there are some parts of it that I actually have cleaned up and did some testing, like pretty much like when a company actually get a project to do a test, right? And I have to do a cleanup for this, and I didn't know what it was at first. I was like, "Oh, what is this kung fu movie thing?" And then they told me it was Evolution, and I'm so disgusted. Like I felt like I just betrayed someone, even though I didn't.
Look at
And
that.
I'm like, and that feeling that like when you found out what it was, your friend next to you that's also doing the cleanup had this nice smile on his face, and it's like, we're trying to clean up Dragon Ball Evolution, man, and you want to punch him so bad because like you're excited. It's like, dude, I would love to see him. I'd love to see an American Dragon Ball, and I'm like,
Did you
like,
really?
if I wasn't a newbie in this company, I would have punched you right now. But okay, I'll just pretend that like I
You're
okay.
too polite.
Yeah,
Let's
I
be
was.
honest. It's shit. It's
No. The thing about it is, I would like to put forward two things. Number one, this is the only stain in Chow Yun Fat's career. Number one, and number two, Jamie Chung as Chi Chi was hot. I can't say
Okay.
no to that. Right?
Nino.
JDM, my
Nino.
inaanak, my godson right here, completely agrees with me with that
No,
one.
no,
Right?
no, Nino.
JDM.
As your other inaanak, let me tell
Oh,
you,
yeah,
okay, I forgive you for saying that. Okay? Forgive you in that part. However, I think
Believe
you
you, I'm hearing positive things
Yeah, I
about
think-
Dragon Ball Evolution.
yeah, I forgive you in this 5%. We still have a problem with the 95% of what this existing called Dragon Ball Evolution.
Agreed. Yeah.
True.
Well, let's hear from the man himself, VJ. Come on.
Oh god, yeah. Let's talk about
Do
this.
you guys even consider it as a movie at this point? I
Yeah,
feel
I mean-
like it's just a parody of
Yeah.
Dragon Ball at this point.
You should watch it with that mindset, really. Honestly, when you watch the movie,
No,
you
so
think of it as
I'm looking at my other monitor now, pretending I'm not hearing this conversation.
I'm
VJ,
gassing.
If you really
VJ,
want
let's-
DJ to talk about Dragon Ball Evolution, it's gonna take all of our time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, me
This
right,
will be-
Chad, you're probably right.
More episode on the
This is
Netflix
like a
Resident Evil
1-hour
series.
DJ special.
1 hour rant by BJ.
oh, if it's a rant, by all means, go
Oh, there
ahead.
you go. See, Jamie
I-
Chung, come on.
They're just putting it there, not just to make it much worse. Like
The
Just as
reason,
that term said,
the reason I brought it up is because
Mhm.
it did have a game.
It did
Not
have a
on the
game for
PSP.
PSP.
On the
I
PSP.
know it had a game.
And the best part, as goofy as it was, and as unapologetically rip-off of Budokai as it was was all right.
Yeah.
It
are
played
you
like the
hearing
worst.
yourself right now? Are you hearing yourself?
I know. It's just Budokai, but with Dragon Ball Evolution as a skin. I will never forget that they gave Piccolo as his ultimate attack, him shouting "I beam" as I beams come out of his eyes.
I have issues with that. You know how much I have issues with that?
And
They could have said Makapasapo, I would have forgiven them. You just have to actually resort. They're just calling me I-beam.
and God help us, Yamcha's ultimate attack is him running you down with his jeep. That's it.
Well, there you go. We are showing footage of the game itself right now, and
PSP.
I'm having goosebumps, but not the right one. Not the right kind.
The fear. Look at that.
Okay, the horror.
DJ's cringing heavily right now. He's
I can't watch.
The fun
Actually,
part.
I just want to share. I used
yes, Ebert.
I used to have this game. It's not exactly that bad. It's just the movie
Right?
that's really bad. 'Cause,
Right?
I,
Look what
yeah,
they did to my
it's
boy.
something that you can probably.
Nice Godfather reference. Huh?
Okay.
I've
what
seen
they
the
did
movie.
to my
It's really
boy.
horrible because Americans they just wanted to cash in with the popularity here in Asia. I'm not sure if it worked there in the US, having an American counterpart of the Japanese version of Goku. But I used to have this evolution, and it's good if you're not familiar with the show because it actually stains the
worst
game if you watch it. So good in a way if you're into fighting games. So it's something that pwede na, kumbaga.
You know-
The movie, I'm not sure why they made such a movie. I hate it as well. From the
You know-
trailer, as soon as I watched the trailer, wala, ayoko talaga.
Just to actually add on to this, now that it just hits me right now. You know how painful watching this. I have a proposal for G3 and PRG since we were gonna have this competition between our two.
What?
No, we're not gonna play this game, man. I swear to God.
This is going to be the deal breaker. If whoever loses this competition between PRG and G3, the losing team has to do a playthrough of this game.
The story
Swear
mode.
to God.
Story mode. Okay, sige.
I
That
would
sounds fine.
purposely lose just so BJ will play this
This,
game.
this is why.
Sell out G3
Because
just
I know these battles.
BJ to play this game.
I'm downloading it right
To the
now.
whole team and tell them to lose purposely just for BJ to play this game.
They don't even have to PM each other. They just look at each other, right here.
You know what to do. Drop the controller.
Exactly what they're gonna do. God damn.
Found it. There it is.
So if I'm
Dragon
hearing this right, whoever loses between PRG and G3 on the third round will play this game.
Yes.
Yes, like we're basically, here's what I'm thinking is that in their podcast they have to do a playthrough of this game in story mode. If we lose, we're gonna play this in Quantum Bijuhan, and you know how painful this is gonna be.
No, because this is PRG and G3 against me. It's not fair. That's what they want to do, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, no, look, I mean, Kuya, look, I mean, Kuya Jepoy sa baba is pretty much just like saying, but so
I mean, Tito Popoy, thank you very much. I love you burgers and all that, but I know what you're gonna do, man. I mean, your burgers are great, but I know what's gonna happen, dude.
It's basically, no, BJ is going to be Julius Caesar walking into the, walking into the
all the other D3 members start stabbing him.
Brute, my entire friends are gonna, do it. Okay, all right. I swear to God, if there's one thing, and this is what I realized. What I realized is I have to look at it, so that I don't lose my mind. The only way to look at it is, if it weren't for Dragon Ball Evolution, Toriyama would not have made a comeback and made Super, and bring us stuff like Broly.
Right.
Dragon Ball Super Hero right now is awesome.
Yeah.
And simply because Toriyama said, and I quote, "I do not want this," and didn't even name it. This is the last thing they remember about my work. And I swear to God, man, I mean, even Ben Ramsey, the scriptwriter, went on a public apology to apologize for this abomination. It's just horrendous, dude. I swear to God.
That's the thing. Is it like, no matter how much we do hate this, and as much as like in my head canon this thing doesn't exist, we did end up with a certain comeuppance in regards to this, and we end up having Super. And as a matter of fact, because of this movie, if you think about it, Toriyama finally actually got out of his ass and decided like, I do need to get back to Dragon Ball and find my successor to continue the legacy of this one. And if you think about it,
it didn't have to be that bad, though. I mean,
it had to be that bad. It had to be that bad.
If you think about it, he was actually like, when he handed out the mantle for GT, right? He pretty much was like, just whatever happens in GT, let it happen, right? And then I think when he saw the ending of GT, he was like, wait a minute, hold on. And then Evolution showed up, and he was like, okay, that's it. And that's why he probably.
I mean, this thing
on the
is so
chat
bad.
says, Asupanting on the chat said it succinctly, very, very perfectly. DBE is the reason why humans are not afraid of live adaptations. Actually, it's true. It kind of started the trend of really bad live action adaptations.
And this is the time even the Avatar came
I
out.
would go way back.
Yeah, I'd go like
It's
Super Mario
Godzilla.
Have you
Godzilla.
seen- No, not even.
Godzilla Western version was the shittiest
Oh, yeah, that's
adaptation
true.
ever. That
That's true,
fucking
that's true.
thin lizard ruined Godzilla for me.
That's true. That is
Wasn't
very
it
true.
supposed to
yeah.
be
Me
Super
too.
Mario?
It should
Super
not-
Mario
it should
Bros.
Yeah, and it should not have happened in Street Fighter as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Don't even get me started with Street Fighter.
It goes
Even
way,
Street Fighter.
way older than
I guess
that.
so. That is very true. That is very
Fist of
true.
the North Star.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Okay, now
That is old. Oh my god, that is old.
I think I kind of scrubbed that from my memory.
That
Yeah.
French
And
actor that
you
looked like
have-
Ronnie Ricketts.
Yeah. And then you have Double Dragon. That was
Oh yeah,
also,
Double Dragon.
Yeah.
But
Oh, God, that's
Melissa
true.
Milano was hot there. There you go.
I mean, but really,
Melissa Milano was
so
hot.
so we rewatched the movie
Okay.
a little bit after the holidays.
Yeah.
It's quite the punishment, but I just unlocked a stored suppressed memory of
That's
the
what we
Kami
do here,
House.
Timeless Gamer. We unlock suppressed memories.
And like what you said, props to Chow Yun Fat. He made it want to work. He was trying to be an anime character. It was great.
Mhm.
But then again, I remember seeing the Kami House. It's an island home, and the house is an island because it's surrounded by cliffs. His house looked like Joe's apartment, for crying out loud. The thing,
Of that
the
old.
only thing missing are the freaking roaches, man. I mean,
yes.
and I actually forgot about it. My brain couldn't take it. It kind of locked it in its memories alongside when you get abused. That's where it's there. And I saw it again. I swear to God, man.
My fiance was asking us a question earlier, and she was like, "What if Shenron gave two choices before you wish? A, watch its movie or play its game. What will you choose, hon?" That's like you pick your poison. Would you want like this to
Let
kill you? or
BJ
this to
answer.
kill
Let
you?
BJ
Yeah, let
answer.
BJ
Let
answer that one.
because
I'd
this
like
would
to
be
hear
painful
BJ's
to
answer
answer.
that one.
Go,
Just choose
go.
one. Just choose one.
Yeah.
No!
Is that what you
You can keep
No.
your wish.
It's a resounding no.
It's a resounding no.
I refuse your wish.
Look at BJ's face
If you
right
have
there.
to choose, what would it be?
If it's life or death.
Yeah.
Just fight me. Shoot me in the head. I'll do it. Come on, fight me instead.
I'd rather prefer to be eaten by Shenron than actually take the wish. That's basically what he's like.
Sidebar Shin, I like having the G3 guys with us because the thing is, we have references to The Godfather. We have references to Julius Caesar, and we just had a reference to Joe's apartment. How diverse can you get when it comes to references?
Look, when we were in their podcast a while back, I was like literally like, you guys have to come here.
Yeah.
I'm even surprised right now that Queer Charlie over here is very restrained because I was like, look, notice how I'm very, very like
All right.
pretty much like going all out right now. It's because I'm like, come on, go to the dark side.
He's baiting you, Charlie.
No. It totally depends on the topic. If I go off, I will go off. The topic that we have is something more relaxed for me because it's something that I grew up watching.
Yeah, at my
actually
expense,
enjoyed.
Charlie. Thank you. It's my own
The only thing that I hated with the Dragon Ball Legacy is definitely the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. That's it. There's not much to hate with Dragon Ball games. I mean,
Getting back though, I think
Oh, yeah?
sorry, Charlie was referring to the PS3 game Ultimate Tenkaichi, right?
Yeah.
Charlie, we're talking about that one. The first one, if I'm remembering correctly, had an amazing intro. Had an amazing intro that was so close to the anime, you would think that it was really part of the anime series.
right, exactly.
Yeah, that was like a hype intro.
I remember
and
that. Swear to God.
The game wasn't so bad, really. On PS3,
No, it wasn't so bad.
It was
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad.
It was very nostalgic, and whenever we get to play and renew that, the nostalgic feeling every time they release the new game, even though we know it's old and the same game, you will just play the same game. It's like FIFA almost, right?
Exactly.
It's just the same game with a few different things, new characters, new,
Oh, yeah?
new stuff.
Have you seen Dragon Ball Taiketsu?
What?
Taiketsu. What the?
No, I haven't played those.
That one was a shit show.
Which one is that one? What platform was that one, Trix?
It was on Game Boy Advance,
Yeah.
and everyone had huge heads, specifically Vegeta, because
Oh wait, one moment. We are now showing the footage of Ultimate Tenkaichi here. It's not so bad. It's very much rock paper scissors gameplay. When you get into it, you have to choose which button would overpower your enemy, and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
surprisingly,
This game, I
Yeah,
didn't
continue,
like
Jay.
so much.
Mm.
Because of the oversimplification of the thing. Because we
Right.
got used to Budokai Tenkaichi 3, where you actually
Right.
have button commands to press. It does give you a very cinematic feel of it. It does.
Yes, it does.
Right.
It's perfect for people like me who are terrible at fighting games. It's extremely simple. I guess it would be a good introduction for somebody who is not into the fighting genre, or maybe for younger
Right.
players. Continue, Charles. You were saying something about that one.
Yeah, because basically this game was ported for kids who who are not really into fighting games. And I remember playing this game with my friends. It's not even on the play. Was it PlayStation 3?
it was Xbox.
PlayStation 3, yeah.
Xbox.
Xbox, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I remember playing this with my friends after school. When we first saw it, it was very simple, and we were just having fun.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you don't think much of the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
As long as you can see this kind of graphics and you can beat your friend while playing it, you will have fun.
And I
That was Dragon Ball for me growing up.
Oh,
Most
there
of
you
the
go.
games I didn't take it seriously. I was just having fun whenever I play it. Even in college, when I first bought my PS3 and my Xbox 360, the first game I bought was Dragon Ball, and whenever we have drinking sessions, we would play.
Oh, there
We
you go.
would just
That's
play
it.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And I think the people in the chats agreed that the anime cutscenes were amazing. The Lonely Nixie says Ultimate Tenkaichi's anime cutscenes, and Nico Laurente says Ultimate Tenkaichi's anime cutscenes are so lit. You have to admit, playing that game felt like you were in the anime itself.
Right,
Yes.
that's true.
All right, you were saying something, Tricks, about that game. Continue. Which game was this one?
Oh,
Dragon Ball
Taiketsu.
Taiketsu.
Mm-hmm.
It was
that's the guy.
it was Dragon Ball fighting game for the Game Boy Advance.
Yes.
Wait, I remember this game.
Yeah, I think Trix and Miss Honoka have common experiences with this one. Good. Continue. Let's have
Yes.
your opinions on this one.
Let's go.
It's so unfunctional. Like, it plays like a traditional fighter, which I don't mind. It's kind of like this, but only it looks worse, much worse. But things don't work. Blocking doesn't work. Rounds, rounds. If you lost, just if you won.
Not this though. This is Advanced Adventures.
Advanced
Trix is
Adventures.
talking about
Yes.
Taiketsu, and Taiketsu is just a whole
You saw
clunky
what-
mess, really.
Yeah, even the
What
developers
platform was that one again on, Trix?
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy
No, I mean okay, there you go. So you were saying that one, the moves were barely functional. You could barely execute anything.
Yeah,
I-
and blocks don't work.
You mean the block? You mean this one? You mean press B
Oh.
up Press B and up. I always
There
put on
you
the block
It
one.
was so weird. So fucking weird. Like I commend it for trying to go for traditional fighting. There we go.
There we go.
There,
Ah, yeah.
I commend them for trying the traditional route on Dragon Ball
It
fighting.
doesn't look so bad. It's got that 3D sprite thing feel to it from the looks of it, though.
Yeah,
it,
it-
it,
yeah,
it looks like it
Yeah,
looks
but
like
playing it is another
Very
matter.
Mhm.
You only have
but like you said, this was ported in Game Boy Advance, right?
yeah, this wasn't
Yeah,
the
look at
port.
this.
This
Look
was
at this.
made
It,
from the
it
ground
looks
up.
like Clay Fighters more than anything else.
Yeah.
But then
Game Boy
again, it
Advance
was
yun.
ported for Game Boy Advance.
No, it wasn't a port. It was made in the ground up for Game Boy Advance.
It was
For
really
Game
for
Boy
Game Boy.
I,
It looks
I,
like it's Clay Fighters.
what it- I'm not sure if you're because I played this game. It's called the one in GBA Goku Adventure. What was that? Advanced Adventure.
Legacy of Advanced Adventure or
Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. It's not a fighting game. It's more like an adventure game.
Yeah,
It's a
Yeah, I
platform.
remember
Yeah.
playing an adventure game on the Advance. The thing is, you need to remember, for a Game Boy Advance to have the same mechanic as a PS1 won't be possible. That's why I kind of understand why it looks
refute
like that. Or
I refute that because
Ah.
they said,
are there any other games that plays better?
Yes.
Like,
yes, Guilty Gear on the Game Boy Advance.
oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Point
and
taken,
sorry
yeah.
guys for those
Point
who are
taken.
watching. This is the point where Trickster starts correcting everybody. That's his
Yeah.
thing.
Trickster is
the
the
whole thing.
hermit. We call him the hermit because he stays in his cave and plays everything, reads everything, and knows everything.
Yeah.
So I guess he's the one that I have to go on a quest for if I'm looking for the solution to the mystery of life. Then yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
No, he won't go with you. He'll just tell you where it is, and you just go on your own.
And if you get it wrong, he will tell you you're wrong.
and and you're bound to get corrected. You know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, that's It looks like it might be a little bit of fun anyway. But if the mechanics are broken, it's not going to be fun at all. We've had our share of games of encounters with games where it looks great, but the mechanics are terrible. I guess.
Actually, if you look at it, because for me, I'm not exactly that familiar. I grew up watching Dragon Ball, but seeing games like this, like the Game Boy Advance Adventure, it's actually for me personally, it's a fun game. I actually played it before, so because we all of us we play different types of Dragon Ball. Because I can relate with Sir Charlie Palito about being kids. We used to rent out as well back in the Famicom days. That we don't know the characters, but it's fun actually playing it with a friend offline. So growing up, if you're not really familiar, like for me, I just know the game. It's not I'm not something who was play most of them. So it's actually something that someone like me will appreciate with these types of game like Advanced Adventure. But we have our own taste when it comes to gaming, so I guess that's those are the differences.
Always remember, Trickster has very, very high standards.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause-
I'll remember
There we
that.
go.
Because I think the question is, what would your, and this is gonna be a fun question, particularly for Trickster, because he plays both, RPGs and adventure games and fighting games. If you guys from would pick, what would be your all-time favorite Dragon Ball game of all time? Like,
Oh damn.
if anybody says Dragon Ball Evolution, "Ore no tatakaya kudasai!"
Don't worry,
No,
don't
no,
worry.
no, no.
Shikarabi shitigure!
No.
I'll start.
Okay,
Because,
go ahead.
One of my favorite. I'm showing the Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Mhm.
So, but then again, one of the best game I played was this game from the PS2, Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3.
Three.
Three,
Okay.
yeah, because I play some of the games from NES, Super SFC, Super Famicom. So when I got introduced with the 3D fighting genre, it's pretty much different from Tekken or Street Fighter,
Right.
where you just but Tenkaichi introduced me with the fighting sequences where you either fight in the air or in the ground.
Right.
So you get to learn the characters while playing it. So it's actually very memorable for me. So that's the PS2 version, Dragon Ball's Tenkaichi 3. So I haven't played the remaster since this is actually one of the good thing of being part of this podcast is actually we learn from you guys. So Dragon Ball Evolution, it's something that I'm gonna look forward to playing.
Yes.
Evolution, the Game Boy games and all that.
Siebert makes a very good point. The nice thing about being here, listening to the podcast of Timeless Gamer, of G3, of Quentin Bijuhan, is that you get to catch up on all of these games that you've never heard of, or you've locked away in the back of your head thinking you're going to play that in the future, but you never get around to it. These kinds of podcasts and these kinds of storytelling among friends is a way for you to reactivate those memories and then maybe go back to your backlog, to your library, and then get to play them all over again, or from and the very brand new or in a brand new experience.
Right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I made a mod knowing nothing about it, but it was fun.
That's awesome, dude.
So-
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome piece
you
of
know,
work.
And another thing is that for those of us who had no access to the internet back then, playing the games was our way of kind of catching up to the anime itself, to the storylines, finding out what happened. Call it a condensed version of watching the anime while you're playing the game. So back then, like in my day, it was kind of hard to catch up to Dragon Ball because of all the reruns. You couldn't find any Betamax tapes to watch the
Betamax?
Yeah,
Wow.
Betamax. the Betamax tapes to watch the series. What can I say? I was born in 1972, so those were my days.
Hey,
So-
I've actually experienced Betamax too. I'm just saying like that because it was
Yeah, we have
nostalgic.
Betamax
that's
at
all.
home, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. VHS came later on, but in the
Right,
Philippines,
right,
Betamax
right.
was big. Anyway, to continue, back to you, shit.
Yeah. But yeah, like now that we're like all talking about like these video games that we've actually dealt with as far as like the 32-bit, I know that like that's the only rules that we have, but I believe we actually have a lot of special mentions that are like the most current ones, especially for me personally, I really love the current Dragon Ball fighting game, which is Fighters, because if you think about it, every element that was from Budoden was pretty much refined to actually fit into a current modern fighting game. And the only thing that was missing is that like you don't need to go far enough to actually power up whatever. But the thing is that like just playing this game itself, there is a hint of nostalgia just playing Fighters. And the mixture of the current fighting game system and then at the same time seeing them in cell shaded format, it pretty much just like I mean, if you're into fighting games and then you like Marvel, this is pretty much like when we've lost Marvel to Marvel Infinity, which I will never ever 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 considered existing. This is pretty much like what we got.
Power Stone. Yeah. Sorry.
Don't you ever
sorry.
mention that.
I'm sorry.
I hate that Marvel Capcom game, honestly. But go ahead, Trix.
I'm gonna hurt your feelings for this.
It's a special.
So he's
case.
not
There, go
correcting you. He's outright hurting your feelings. Yeah, go ahead.
It's ready.
Oh my god.
I actually kind of like Marvel Infinite, just for the gameplay alone.
Shall, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night, everyone.
Like sure, the presentation is ass.
Okay.
story mode,
Okay.
But the gameplay is actually.
I will agree with you on that one. The gameplay is amazing. However, the thing is that like the problem with the way that they brought Infinity back. I know we're talking about a different game here, but The thing is that like with them trying to bring things back, it actually had like all the previous Marvel people expecting that like whatever magic that was left and the void that needed to be filled wasn't really there at all. It's a new different system, mind you. It's everybody was having fun with it. Even I was somewhat having a bit of fun with it. But the thing is that like the chaos. What was that?
It doesn't help that the roster was cut in half.
Yes, exactly. So now that like we had like fighters, pretty much like whatever that we craved in the Marvel versus Capcom games in the golden days were pretty much like answered in a way by this game itself. I mean, not necessarily completely in the same way, mind you, but it actually has that kind of element in there. And again, bringing back that like the nostalgia feeling of the Boton series, and then at the same time seeing them all in a cell shaded format. And then the best part about it for me personally, with fighters, is that like the story mode.
It's actually good.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
in a way, in a fighting game sense, it's good.
Yes, it's simple enough. It's simple enough for you to understand, go through it, and get through the challenges of the fighting game itself.
Plus,
You know?
you get what if scenarios with characters you team up with, which is an extra added bonus that they didn't need to do, but I love nonetheless. Like Frieza actually complimenting Yamcha. That's a weird thing, but I'll take it.
Well, Yamcha
Yeah.
can fight here.
I mean, since we are kind of like hitting into our 2 hour mark, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for everybody who's been like No, I'm not ending yet. I'm just like I'm just thanking everybody who's like stayed plus through this whole 2 hours, and again, thanks to the G3 crew. But I would love to ask this to everyone. Now that we're talking about the Dragon Ball Z games, what is there something that you guys are looking forward to that like you wish that they could do, whether it's a fighting game or if it's like an RPG game or if it's an adventure game? What do you guys want to see in the future as far as like Dragon Ball Z is concerned?
I would like to start with that. Since
Not your Sir Pao.
And to point out BJ's question about the favorite game, I will stick to Ultimate Battle 22/27, and I will base my answer there to the very thing that I'm looking forward on any future Dragon Ball game or Dragon Ball Z games for that matter. Hercule Satan.
Okay.
Because in Ultimate Battle 27, Hercule Satan does not need to charge energy. It does not use up any energy bar to throw grenades, rockets, or what. Although they did mess up Hercule Satan in Budokai Tenkaichi, where he can now charge energy in there, which is not realistic for Hercule Satan himself. So Ultimate Battle 27 Hercule Satan is still the best for me, and I hope he gets to be a playable character in a future Dragon Ball game.
Hey, I mean, when you stop and think about it, Hercule Satan is actually one of the most powerful characters in Dragon Ball Z right now because he befriended Boo. They're best friends, and Boo will do everything that he can to protect, Hercule. Even try to fight the most powerful enemies in the universe. Anyway, continue. Go ahead.
Well, that's it. So hopefully I could be able to play as Hercule Satan in a future Dragon Ball game, and applying the same mechanics that he has back in Ultimate Battle 27.
Lying, cheating, and
Yeah, like
Hey,
Eddie
but-
Guerrero playstyle, man. That's-
But
Yeah,
he
it's
did
weird.
show
But
the most
cheating is
humanity. He did show the most humanity in befriending Boo, and they became, Boo became absolutely loyal to him. There you go.
That's
Mhm.
true.
I think Jazz had something to say about that. Jazz.
Something to look forward to in a Dragon Ball game. I don't want to hurt BJ's feelings, but see,
But I will anyway.
Still do.
Oh my god.
here's the thing. I would love to see a battle royale tournament of power style
Well, you know what?
with all those characters.
Well, that's basically Fortnite. So
No
we
guns,
are
with no
still
guns.
waiting for that
With
video.
no guns.
Yeah, right.
Stop it,
With
man.
no guns, their actual powers, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that I would agree with.
Tournament of
Thank
Power
you.
style. Yeah.
Tournament of Power,
I mean, kind of
Battle
got that.
Royale. Yeah.
No
You know,
guns.
as a mod, remember Bid for Power?
Mhm.
Oh shoot, yeah. Bit for power sucks. No, but yeah, I like that idea. Thank you. No guns, please. Thank you. That's the whole point of Dragon Ball. Guns
No
don't work.
Kameyama.
Kameyama.
You know, the
know-
fact that like you guys have to, Fortnite.
Don't worry,
Hey!
we all hate it. It's just that BJ hates it the most.
Yes.
With utmost intensity.
I prefer the
I do.
PvE version. Just enough. Like I don't entirely hate it, but I prefer the initial game mode.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the dynamic of G3 here. Basically, they pile on BJ and he goes off.
No.
No,
So-
don't worry.
wait.
We have a flavor of the week.
Oh my
Sometimes
goodness.
it's me. Sometimes
wait.
it's BJ. Sometimes it's mine.
Okay.
Wait until we start talking about your digs on Resident Evil games and the TV shows and the movies. Then that's that.
Just so you wait. You need
Well,
to
that-
do a Resident Evil episode. I'll
Yeah,
be
you
there.
I'm
You need to
imagining
have
that-
3 hours because 1.5 hour will just be me ranting
That's-
about the Netflix Resident Evil series.
Well, the
Pure-
special-
Yeah, Kuya Charlie,
Adulterated
you know, funny you mentioned that. We had an episode a long time ago about Resident Evil. It took us 5 hours just to
Oh yeah.
finish.
Mhm.
I could just imagine if we're ever gonna do a Resident Evil again, I would love you to be there, just so that like we can actually feel the scene after. Because I know how you feel about that Netflix thing. I didn't even look at it.
Guys, was that in TG or in
Resident
KB?
Evil.
Was that?
Was that in TG or in KB?
I don't
NTT or
remember. Yeah. But
Was that in
we
timeless
will
or
have
in the
those
video
as for that episode. We'll have Seabert and we'll have Raymond as the hosts because they are our
Yeah.
experts when it comes
Yeah.
to horror games.
I can actually relate with Sir Charlie about the Netflix show. So
Mhm.
from it's like a mixture of Silent Hill and
Not even.
they are I hate it from the show.
It's not even a horror. It's not even a horror TV series. Like it's not Resident Evil.
It's all,
There you go.
It's not.
That's where it starts.
It's messed up.
But going back,
Going
after
back.
taking it to Resident Evil, something that I would look forward to. I mean, for me, Dragon Ball Z ended for me since the PS2. Just for me. But I'm happy. I mean, I still watch the new shows, like the newer episodes, but it's not something that I look forward to anymore because it's made for the new generation. I mean, it's not so focused on adventure anymore. It's just focused on fighting and powering up. And I'm glad. I mean, I don't hate it. I'm glad that it's being introduced to the newer generation, and I know kids who actually was introduced to Dragon Ball Super and totally love it and is now following and is trying to watch the older anime. But for me, it was done since the PS2 era, and that I'm not expecting something new anymore. I mean, Akira Toriyama proved himself to be one of the greatest manga writers and anime story makers, and this is I don't want him to get to a point wherein he just keeps creating until it gets watered down. Because
he is already kuya eh. Sorry to interrupt, pero I know that he's already passing his mantle to one of his assistant, like
Toyotaro.
basically.
Yeah.
So
If
that
that's the
assistant
case,
is
then-
going to be developing storylines going forward. Is that the case?
It seems like he's just like kind of like art directing right now, but as far as like the majority of the artworks right now is pretty much like from the new guy. And the guy already had a lot of controversies because most of the drawings that he has seems to be swipes. So or reuse pictures of the previous Dragon Ball series. Some people do welcome him as like the successor for Toriyama, but some people are feeling a little bit kind of scared that like he might take Dragon Ball to a certain direction that even Toriyama could not even repair anymore.
There you
Nice.
go. That's what I mean because when you do something amazing, you don't have to keep doing
Yeah.
it. It's gonna get watered down into oblivion, and people will forget it. But it's Dragon Ball. We will always
Yeah.
love it.
Yes, exactly. And also, yeah,
Not everyone.
yeah, not everyone. Momo said, like, what if Shenron gave you the choice to play Fortnite before wishing? Han, if our son end up playing Fortnite, me and B are gonna have 2 hour talk about Fortnite. Okay.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's like, B, halika rito. We're gonna have a little bit of a talk here. No, Han, you're staying on the sala. Me and him gonna have a long talk.
Oh.
Let me tell you about gamer life, son. All right, where do we start? Anyways, tawag dito, like so, pretty much like Lonely Nixie is also saying that like yeah, sequel to Xenoverse, that could actually be a good idea, Sini. However, I would say though, my only qualm is that like whoever's gonna do Xenoverse, don't try to make the Namekian class too strong. Because honestly, like every single PvP of Xenoverse, you just have to have this one Namekian that will just do the same thing over and over again. Yeah, and somehow, some way, that's basically just like, oh yeah, you're pretty OP, and they never patched it. It's alright. We're waiting for Xenoverse 3. They haven't patched it, so it's like
We will never get another Xenoverse 3. They put in too much in Xenoverse 2.
I agree. And I mean, as far as like story is concerned, I mean, I don't know how far you could even really go with like how much repair and time
Well,
shards
the thing
you
about it
need.
is, well, the thing about it, Super already introduced multiverses already in the storyline anyway. So
And timelines.
yeah, timelines. So basically, it's an infinite universe na naman. Anything can happen in the future. Even the proposed, even the proposed Dragon Ball Sailor Moon crossover. Anyway, let's put a cap on the conversation, Mamuchu. Bring it home.
No, say it again, Kuya.
I was just saying that because of the multiverse, Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball can have that crossover, and to bring it home, Mamuchu.
Yes, like do we really need to the hentai guy actually talk about that? But anyways,
Absolutely. It has to be the hentai guy.
well, okay. So, anyways, in regards to everybody here has enjoyed Dragon Ball through the years and from different formats itself. But one thing's gonna be for certain is that no matter how long that we're gonna be playing it, as long as we have Dragon Ball in our hearts, let's say that we are going to play it no matter what. We're always going to be jumping in and trying it out. We're still gonna jump in, even though we know that like it will start the moment that Raditz shows up on planet Earth. We're still gonna play that in hopes that maybe there's gonna be some side stories, or whatever. But one thing's for certain, Dragon Ball is actually a part of our culture. It's a part of our hearts. And before we could even end, I think we need to have like Kuya Joe to actually have his opinion in this. Kuya Joe, are you
That's
there?
true. Yeah, we'd certainly love to have Joe's
Yeah.
final word, shall we say?
Quiz Joe, would you like to actually have the final word for Dragon Ball here? Because you're the one who's pretty quiet for the whole time.
Yeah, Joe, pagalawin mo yung bote.
Pagalawin mo basa, Quiz Joe. Like,
Basa pala, sorry, Mama.
Isn't he the one who's doing the other?
Lend us your energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's your energy. Yeah.
Put your hands in the air.
Yep. Raising our hands. Okay.
I'll bring down Sir Joel first.
Okay.
To close the show, with
Yes.
the Dragon Ball Z games, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z games. Well, so I've been playing the games for the last couple of days, and I've noticed that the Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball Z games live and die based on where the show or the manga stops. During on the Sega, there's this Dragon Ball Z game, and it was only up to the Cell games because because the Cell games stopped around 1993-94, so they have to make the game over there.
Mhm.
With the Butoden series all the way up until the Majin Buu saga, because the anime stopped right there. And then when when GT was made, they have to make GT Final Bout. When And even right now with Kakarot and even with Dragon Ball Z Fighters, it's only because you got Dragon Ball Super. So regardless, so depending on where the anime and the manga is, expect another Dragon Ball Z game. And I'm like, how many times do I need to see Rabbit going, coming to Earth? How many times do I have to see Nappa and Vegeta? How many times do I have to go through Frieza? How many times do I have to go to
Cell.
Android? How many times do I have to go with Cell? How many times do I have to go to Majin Buu? How many times
I
do
can
I have
answer that for you, please, Joe. I can answer that for you. Yes.
like yes? So, I mean, to be honest, I haven't really watched the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, but by playing the Dragon Ball Z games, guys, just by playing the Dragon Ball games alone, you will not miss anything from watching the anime. You probably have the gist of the story just by playing the games over and over again. Hey, if there's one thing that I would probably just to answer with Mamuchu's question, same thing. I would rather than focusing on the Dragon Ball Z aspect of things, I would like to bring it all the way full circle. Start back from the very first one,
Yes.
like a modern
OG.
straight up
Yeah.
OG Dragon Ball when Goku was a kid, all the way when he first went down as Superman.
Super Saiyan.
Well, no,
When he
it
first
is.
went down,
It is
as
actually. No,
Smallville.
no, actually, Toriyama was very honest with that, guys. That he actually was inspired by
Right.
Superman for Dragon Ball Z.
I have,
And
I have to
then,
admit
like, when he went to the Android saga, he was actually hooked up on watching Terminator 2.
Terminator.
Right.
so from there, from meeting Bulma for first time meeting Kirin, Master Roshi, Yamcha, all the way to the Red Ribbon.
Yeah.
Right.
The Red Ribbon arc, that was the best arc. That was a good arc from the Red Ribbon
That's
arc.
true.
All
Yeah.
the way to fighting Tenshin Han, Tao Pai Pai arc, of course.
Piccolo.
And
The big
Piccolo. Teka, you're about to say something here, Trix? Teka, sandali. Trix was about to say something. Ano yan?
Yeah, and if you still want to cram in some Z there, you could make at least the fight with Raditz, the super boss,
Right.
giving him some dignity. You know, he's always
Right.
the weakest one, and that could be the closer since Goku's all grown up. He has a son, and in comes this alien from another world. He could be the super boss. He had trouble finding them, right? Him and
Right.
Piccolo had to double team him.
Correct.
So yeah,
and then you go and then you played the
It's kind of a
other
prequel
the other modern
to all
modern
the
Dragon
Dragon
Ball.
Ball games. Yeah. That would make sense.
You know, also in regards to this,
I would love that. Raditz would be the final boss.
yeah, because like Piccolo would be the second to the last because of the Tenkaichi. He'll be the second to the last, and then Raditz it will be the final boss.
yeah.
And then like
That
what
could be
you call
like a cliffhanger ending or something, right?
yeah, it's a
Just-
cliffhanger ending because he dies.
Goku's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when you release the next game, you start on the Snake Road.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Right?
haven't really explored the Snake Road. But the
They actually have a game about that.
They actually
Is
do.
it? There is a game.
on a modern.
I think it's
a
on-
modern setting.
Was it on the PSP? I think it's on the PSP.
Was
I
it?
remember playing that game when after Goku died, and then
I think it was Shin
Early.
Budokai. Yeah.
The, the Snake Road in real time.
Yeah, that is the challenge. That is the challenge. Like, in order for you to finish the game, you have to make sure that you go to the Snake Road and you have to go through Kaya's training, and you have
Oh
to
my
make sure
God.
that you come back at exactly that time.
Look, we're doing Stanley Parables now. Like,
Yeah, like that's,
Yeah.
that's a
Can run,
Stanley
can walk.
Parable mechanic right there, man.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z Snake Road. I think that's the game.
just Snake Road.
No, well, we'll call it countdown because you actually have 365 days before the Saiyan arrives. So you just call it Dragon Ball Countdown.
Dragon
You
Ball
know.
Countdown.
Yeah, and then
Don't reach Snake Road if you don't
uh,
reach
Lonely Nixie, Lonely Nixie actually asked this wonderful question in regards to Dragon Ball itself, and Nixie says, "Oh, by the way, what's your opinion with the retcons of how Goku came to Earth and Doc's story, original versus minus?" Well, if you think about it, a lot of the things that happen with Dragon Ball, as far as like the plots are concerned, there's a lot of loopholes in there, and pretty much those loopholes tend to actually be filled, such as like with Goku turning to Super Saiyan, they said that like there's a legendary Super Saiyan. They never really seen that Super Saiyan, and then they decided in the future that they would create this side story that apparently is Bardock, who basically got yeeted into
Into
a
the
time
past.
slip in the past and basically learn how to be a Super Saiyan. And like with them basically changing the way that like Goku came into Earth, I mean it's not really that much of a change in comparison to the way that Raditz narrated the story. The only difference is that like you now have a bit of an extension where you basically see Goku's family when he was still a baby, you know, and you kind of understand how their family system works and how they are, and pretty much before they got thrown into the capsule and this whole shenanigans happened. It's pretty much more of an extension rather than like really retconning or changing anything. It's just like filling up more of the things that everybody kind of overlook when we were kids, when we were watching Dragon Ball, because we're way too focused on the fighting, the level ups, and the enemies that they're fighting. But now, like we look back at it, there's a lot of loopholes. Like I mean, even like if you think about it, all of the other series in Dragon Ball Z itself, if you try to look at it with a microscope, there's a lot of things that you would be like asking yourself, like seriously, what's when they go to with the time chamber, it's like with this thing here, and there's a lot of mechanics that Toriyama or whoever's going to be the successor, we're going to fill up sooner or later. But the important thing here is that like is it still going to hold on to the integrity of what Dragon Ball is, or is it basically going to chip to the point that a retcon really is going to be needed.
As long as it's not involving timelines, we're good.
Oh god, well
That's
that's
the thing that I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
When Sir Banyagang Native said about the multiverse,
Mhm.
you can see it now happening with Marvel. The
Yes.
multiverse shit. Everyone thinks the new movies will be good, or we saw the previous movie that they came out with. It's
Yeah.
not that great. It's shit.
I
It's,
know.
it's just the ending for the Wanda TV series,
Oh.
right? I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty
it's
much,
not
yeah.
that great.
Agreed.
And
yeah.
I'm not expecting great things anymore, except for Kang. That's
Yeah.
it.
That's why
right?
they're calling this one the Marvel Universe.
That's
the
that's
phase-
why that's
instead of
why
phase
I'm
four, phase
afraid.
four.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid for Dragon Ball if they will continue. I would agree better if they would just release it like every 5 years, every 10 years, just to
Yeah.
relieve the nostalgia. But every year again and again and again, I mean, it would
Yeah,
just be
I mean,
watered down.
I'll be honest, the beast mode, I have a bit of an issue with that
Mm.
with Gohan. Because, I mean, we're basically just like back in Cell Saga. Only now it's like a little bit kind of powered up, twisted a little bit, and you basically got beast mode. And, as much as like they want to fix a lot of the loopholes, and like Nixie is pretty much saying down there is like back in the 90s, Super Saiyan is awakened through anger, and now they have all this other stuff. Pretty much, the whole anger thing was already killed during the Buu saga because Goten
Right.
and Trunks turned Super Saiyan. So like the thing with Dragon Ball is that like they try to fix it with the multiverse, but they also try to fix it game wise through the time slip, the time patrols. With the
That would
Xenoverse thing.
be Fighter Z. Was it Fighter Z?
Oh, no. It's Xenoverse, Kuya.
Oh, Xenoverse. Pala. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much it's like they're trying to explain that, like, their first attempt to explain how GT exists, because now that, like, we have the Dragon Ball Super, where does GT sits in, is that, like, through Xenoverse, they kind of try to explain it that, like, it's kind of like a time slip, multiverse, multi-timeline kind of thing.
Right.
And then now, they're also trying to explain that the GT is basically just another universe that happened to be elsewhere.
So
You know.
their explanation for Persian Broly is that he's
The multiverse platform.
another multiverse. yeah.
So
Yeah.
this, Dragon Ball Evolution can be in a different multiverse.
No!
Exactly. That's what it's.
No.
That's how they're gonna explain everything.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how they're gonna explain everything now with the multiverse plot armor. That
Yeah.
every bad thing that comes out, it's just from another universe. Same with the Netflix Resident Evil show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no, because
Same with
Dragon
the
Ball
no.
Evolution
Netflix.
is gonna be
Same with the
it's such a-
Welcome to Raccoon City movie.
No,
Yes.
Dragon Ball Evolution is going to be in such a small miniverse where all the dumbest things ever happen. It's like the cancer verse,
Okay,
and
okay,
they
good.
will snap it out of
BJ,
existence.
BJ, how's this? Let me try to fix this in your head canon. You know those gods that control all these universe?
Yes.
Let's just put it this way. Before the Battle of the Gods or the Battle of the Universe tournament did happen, they have already eradicated evolution.
Yeah. It
All
was
right.
erased. Okay.
That's how my head
Well,
canon works on this
17
one.
brought it back, right? It
Yeah,
They-
but 17 said, let's bring all the universes back, and the thing comes back again. So
Yeah,
I'm not,
that's
I'm not gonna fool
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
Here's the thing, they brought it back, right? They brought it back, right? But we can just have a head canon that somebody from a different universe decided to go to that universe and destroy that universe. How's that?
Again.
Baby, better the devil I know than the one I don't. So I'd rather have it there and continue to shit on it for all eternity. You know,
Ladies and
there
gentlemen,
we hate it.
for those who are listening right now, this is a good example of what you call copium.
Alright.
Absolutely as much of it right now because we're about to be closing. So in every ending, there's always a big amount of copium being sniffed and passed around. So once again, thank you very much for everybody who sits through all these 2 hours of us pretty much
Jamming.
judging against evolution and having a lot of some innuendos.
Yeah.
And I would like again to thank the G3 crew for joining us tonight. It's such an honor, and I would love it that we continue our collaboration, and also that whoever loses will play Evolution.
Yes!
Oh, but before we close, though, Mamuchu, I would propose that we still do our shameless plugs.
It's time for you guys to do your shameless plugs. We would start with the one who is seething salt the most right now. Kuya BJ, take it away with your
Yes.
shameless plugs.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start out with plugging this right in your minds. We're not gonna play Evolution. I swear to God, we're never. but thank you very much for having us. Please check us out on our socials. We are the G3 podcast. We have General Tuna, Jazz Commander right there. My brother Trickster, and of course Charlie D. We are on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Check out the latest things that are coming out of all of pop culture, everything geeky and nerdy in between. We got you covered. So thank you very much for having us. And let's just hope that these guys do not come into some sort of conspiracy against me, because I know the end of this is I know I will end up playing one way or another Dragon Ball Evolution. This is how it's gonna end.
Let's make it happen, guys.
Thank you
Spam
very
in the
much.
comments.
Thank
Let BJ play Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
How's this, Kuya? Any cases you do have to end up playing Dragon Ball Evolution, alright? If it never do happen, okay, we from PRG are going to select one of our members to do the same thing. It's just like we're just gonna look for the one who hates it the most right now.
See, the thing is, it doesn't matter because I don't want to do it. I don't care who does it. I'd rather not be the one to do it. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
BJ, you're
I
just
feel-
assuring that you will be the one to do it now. You're
'Cause
basically that's basically what you're doing right now.
It's
Man.
self-fulfilling prophecy, dude. Honestly.
you mentioned it in front of the G3 guys. Now it's part of the agenda. That's how it's gonna be part. Okay, for our Monday activity on March we're gonna play Evolution. I swear to God.
We're trying to find. We from PRG are trying our ways to actually get along with you guys, and I believe that, like with us proposing that, it kind of brought some smile on members' face. So I mean,
Yeah, you succeeded. That's great. Thank you.
All right, let's proceed with the next shameless plug then.
yes, Kuya Tricks, go for it.
Oh, I don't have much to plug since I'm part of the G3. We're here we're doing our podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. and I'm kind of busy right now, but we do stream. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, like no schedule, but we have to announce it first. So yeah, that's all for it. And thank you for the wonderful Balam music, Balam Garden music during this podcast. Kept us chill.
All right, let's continue with Charlie.
And thank you to everyone for inviting us over here. I want to thank the community, Pinoy Retro Gaming, RGCPA, and the G3 viewers. Please do watch our content. We are on Facebook, TikTok, Insta, and YouTube. We're gonna have more content soon. We're gonna be streaming more frequently, and I hope you support the community more, Pinoy Retro Gaming specifically, and all their pages. And let's have fun.
Excellent, most excellent.
Thank you.
All right, Jazz.
Yeah,
Let's hear
Jazz.
from
Yeah,
Jazz.
Jazz.
Come on.
Kung ano lang yung sinabi nung tatlong nauna.
Ali ako. Sapit ako. Parang
Thank you
ganun.
so much for having us. Yun lang. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Let's proceed with. Let's see.
Ikaw na, please.
Ako na muna? Okay, sige.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. First things first, we are very honored here in Pinoy Retro Gaming, Timeless Gamer, and Quentin Binion to have hosted G3 as our guests in this podcast. We are very, very honored to have you guys. We're very thrilled. And as you can see, the dynamics that we have with you guys are it's like dynamite. We explode, we enjoy. A little bit before I do my personal plug is my input of the game that I'm looking forward to is if they do a looping video of Son Goku running down the snake way so that I can do that while I'm treadmilling. All right, so this is the Pinoy Gamer Abroad of the Manyag Gaming channel, both on Facebook and on Twitch. Please follow Pinoy Retro Gaming, both on Facebook and Twitch, on YouTube, whatever platform that you can find us on our podcasts as well, on Amazon and on Google. But, you know, G3 and Pinoy Retro Gaming will be collaborating on getting DJ to play Dragon Ball Evolution on PS.
Watch out.
Back to you, Shin.
Okay, so the edit has begun. So, well, we actually watched Kuya BJ shaking his head right now. So, say Hanukkah. Do you have anything for your plugging?
Well, for me, I wanted to thank G3 for joining in for us in Timeless Gamer. Thank you so much, guys. And also, do follow Pino Retro Gaming, guys, here on Facebook, Twitch, also and YouTube. Do subscribe as well. And also, do follow Honokonai, both Facebook and Twitch. Also, both retro streamers as well. So, I hope you guys enjoy this show. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Bunsoy. And now for Mr. Loverboy, Sir Pao.
So, same as well. Thank you, G3, for joining us, and we're hoping for more collaborations on any topics that we're about to discuss here at Timeless Gamer. As always, it's Sir Pao streaming every weekends, if ever my time, since I'm working as both call center agent and a school teacher as well. And follow as well Pinoy Retro Gaming for more retro gaming content, and G3 Podcast for more topics to talk up, to be immersed with. And by the way, use the hashtag BJ for DBE.
No.
Yes. Hashtag DJ for DBE. All right. Just have that on every platform, guys.
So, okay, so as we actually noticing, like, the text siguro si Kuya VJ sa mga members ng G3 ngayon, connecting tayo mamaya. Before we move on kay Kuya Juan, Sir Pao, I have a question sa'yo. If ever, like, Honoka tells you to play Dragon Ball Evolution, will you play it?
She hates it as much as I do.
How does that song go?
try.
How does that song go, Shin? I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
I won't do that. Yan yung vote mo. Yan yung mga gagawin. Yeah, you youngins.
Yeah.
Doesn't know about love yet. Kuya 1, 2, 3.
JDF.
Take it away.
Ayun guys, thank you so much sa lahat ng mga nanonood dito sa podcast natin sa Pinoy Retro Gaming, Timeless Gamer. Thank you so much for joining us and participating in the chat, especially to the Lonely Nixie, Miss Nikki Larente, for her inputs about the Dragon Ball games that I'm not really familiar with. And I hope you all guys enjoyed the show. And personal shameless plug, 123 go. I'm still working on my schedule. I usually stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays around the afternoon. Going back to Cebu tomorrow, and
Uy,
hopefully
safe
I
trip,
will be.
kuya.
Yeah, thank you. And sana tuloy-tuloy na yung stream natin because I've been laying low sa streams for a few weeks because I'm busy. I still have to find time to stream. I'm spending a lot of time with my family. So hopefully pagbalik ko regular na rin. And also support G3 and Pinoy Retro Gaming. We might continue streaming in the Pinoy Retro Gaming official page soon. So please do check us out.
Thank you, kuya, and have a safe trip sa'yo. And last but not the least, the man of the hour who has all the Dragon Balls and might probably wish for us to get Kuya MJ to play Dragon Ball Evolution. Kuya Seaver, take it away.
Actually, when I came up with this topic, I was afraid because I have little knowledge about the game and the series. But I'm happy because I get to meet the G3 guys and be part of the show. And because I used to watch Sir Charlie, so it's nice to see you again, Sir Charlie, when he was streaming back in the days. So anyway, in fairness with Dragon Ball, because if you look at it, Dragon Ball back in the days, we are introduced with just a few animes. Nowadays, there's a lot of animes, but Dragon Ball still holds up to the competition, if that's what you call it. Because it's nice to learn from everyone, and it's good to be here. And thank you guys for having me as well. And anyway, thank you to Pinoy Retro Gaming, and you can also see me through my Facebook page, Siebert is Retro Games. So I'm working on a Sega CD mod. So I'm a big Sega fan, by the way. So if ever I'm gonna be asking, because I'm into platforming aside from survival horror, I'm a big survival horror fan. So with the question a while ago, if there's one game that you wanted a remake, so it would be that Game Boy Advance Adventure game. So I'm pretty sure nowadays with the technology we have that having a remake of such game is gonna be fantastic, but special for me personally. And thank you guys. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kuya. All right, so thank you very much again sa inyo lahat, guys. And also for the last bit, siguro kung kailangan mo magpababa dito, Quiz Joe, do you have anything to say as a plugin and final word?
Well, if there's one thing that I can say, I think Dragon Ball, or Dragon Ball Z rather, is the only anime right now, like 40, 50 years running. There's still some games coming. Like every 5 years, there's always a Dragon Ball game coming out. Out of all of the animes that we have, the one thing that remains constant is Dragon Ball, and that goes it goes to the testament of the fandom on how generations old and new still appreciate the lore that started way before. And once again, thank you so much for the G3 crew for joining us to talk about the Dragon Ball Z game, and among others. We thought that we are not going to talk about the one thing that we're not supposed to mention, but hey, we did mention it. But how can you not mention it? I mean, it's right there. But hey,
When it's right there and it's shit.
I know, and it's the elephant in the
Yeah.
room. You can't help it.
We'll see. I mean, there's no way to just ignore it. Like, I mean, it's there.
You know,
it's
when
staring-
there's
it's
fun
staring
to be
us right
had
in
on
the face.
BJ's expense, I guess we can't avoid it. You know.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make a promotional clip about this show, I'm going to use the question that was directed to Sir BJ. If you're going to
Yeah.
play it or watch it, what would it be? The whole
Yeah.
hell no.
Bueno, no, talaga eh.
I'll fight you
Probably-
with on Dragon Ball Evolution.
So, and once again, I'll give it back to Shin. Of course, the one who helmed the show for tonight. Shameless plug.
Yeah, because in Hulu. Tawag dito, once again, thank you guys sa inyo lahat na nandito. Everybody who sit through all of this, talk about Dragon Ball. We can continue, but the thing is that like we only had like a limited time. As for me naman, you guys can actually see me on my website drawing questionable stuff. And I also host a podcast called Web Kantunan along with my other webcom artist friends. Other than that, once again, thank you very much sa lahat na nandito. Guys, sa lahat ng mga nanood sa baba. Yan, sina Nick, si Kuya Jansen, everyone. Thank you very much, guys, especially to all of you who are also from the G3 community. Thank you very much for visiting and watching us. And once again, this is your host, Mobile Unit 630 Shimamochu saying, have a good night. And what's the saying, Kuya Jolino?
Our bodies and games might grow old, but our Sir Pao,
But our
see,
ga-
say it.
Our
Say it for me.
games
Yes.
and bodies may go out of date,
Yes.
but our gaming experiences will forever remain.
Timeless.
Timeless.
There you go. I always
Thank you
pick
very
up on
much.
that. Thank you very much, Sir Pao.
Alright.
I always
Thank you
pick
very
up
much,
on that.
guys. All right, good night, guys. Momo, I love you, Han.
Thank
Di
you.
mag-usap.
Bye, guys.